Baba Sadiq, raising some few concerns about the fact that a new deputy returning officer was appointed this morning to sit in as a returning officer for that of the WeekendCentral. And for him, he will not take that. He is demanding a letter that shows that indeed the appointment has been done, so that at the end of the regulation it will not come that he is not the rightful person. But let me get close to so he will not talk to me. He has led me to where the regulation is taking place. But I've seen Honorable Funyoma here. Let me engage with him and find out from him so far how he would describe the process that has been going on. It's been very smooth. The police, I must say, have done a very great job from outside. You could see a number of police personnel that have well cutting off the entry point of the Electoral Commission. And as I speak to you, not even a single party supporter could be seen out there. You could see an FU van position out there moving from the Ridge Runabout towards the Ridge Hospital, deterring party supporters from coming anywhere close to where the regulation is taking place. But let's talk to the leader of the NPP now, because he has been here since morning and he has been very, very instrumental. And this is a true leader. I must say, you've so far won 2 of the recollated results. That of Abwase has fallen for the NPP. Insemandreju has also fallen for the NPP. We are currently here waiting for that of the TV3. Speak to us. How would you describe this process so far?
Prayer. We're only praying. I'm here with my TV3 candidates. We're only praying. You know, we have allowed the process to go on. We are seated some meters away. No interference. Everything is going on. We're praying to God. We're praying to God.
But how will you describe the entire process so far? Because earlier here at TV3, there were some concerns raised. Currently, I can't see that of the NDC-PC, Ibi Bright here. I also saw the Femekpo here earlier on. They've all worked out, asking that the process starts completely from the scratch, per the court's orders, and they've worked out. How will you describe their concerns? Do you think they have legitimate concern?
I'm in a mood of prayer. Let me finish my prayers.
Obviously, that is spirituality for a spiritual man, leader of the NPP. I'll talk to the PC also. So currently, talk to me. You're also in a mood of prayer. About aside prayers, what else is going through your mind?
Once declaration is done, we'll speak to the media.
You are hopeful of winning? Because the initial declaration that was done, and address went for the NDC, and then.
Okay. Prayer. I've answered for him. Let us be in that mood. Don't worry him.
So that is the leader for the NPP, Honorable Funyoma, speaking to us there. For them, they are in prayer. These obviously full Christians, and then obviously on Sunday they will go to church and then offer much more thanks offering to God. Because so far 2 of the seats that have been declared has gone in their favor, and they are very happy people now, waiting for the TV3 declaration also to happen. Down there, we have some more collation taking place there, and then hopefully before the close of the day, we'll get somewhere. But let me get close to where the recollation is taking place. We have been limited as the media. Earlier, the regional police commander ordered that we come out. We are only allowed access into the recollation center when the declaration is ready to be made. I want to talk to Honorable Sirbo. Sir, please, they are busy. I wouldn't want to interfere with what they are doing. No. So the police, I'm talking about the regional police commander will not allow us to good. So these are some of the things I want you to explain to us, so that the public will know that it's not the case that the Electoral Commission ordered the police to walk us out. Earlier, we were asked to come out until the declaration was ready before we were made to enter again.
But you remember, I asked them that they should allow you to observe because we want transparency. So and you were allowed in. Is that okay?
We are grateful for that. But so far, we've done 2 of the recollation, and we have the NPP continue the coalition. But earlier, we also have that of the Honorable Dafiamekpo and that of Ibi Bright. You were not here, but they are asking that the process starts from the scratch, per the court orders. But we are told from the AC, they said they are continuing from where they got to.
I wasn't here, so I wouldn't want to talk about something I did not observe.
Okay, so far, explain to us how far has the process been. Will you describe it to be very fair, peaceful, and transparent?
What's your own observation? What's your own observation?
So until you directed the police commander to allow us access, we didn't know what happened or transpired earlier.
So now that you have been allowed, what's your own observation?
We are still not allowed to get very close to that place. We are still not allowed to get very close to where the recollection is taking place. So, we're familiar with this. But
we're told that the RO for Tema Central, he left the recollection and his deputies took over. Is this accurate?
Yes, well, that's true. What he's saying is that he has been threatened, that and he's scared of his life. So he doesn't want to put his life on it. Okay. Therefore, I called them to a meeting. Then he explained, but I asked him first the figures that he himself was part of putting them there. Does he still stand by the figures? Okay. He said, yes, the figures are correct. And I told him that when it comes to the crime, somebody will take us to court. Is he telling and giving assurance to the commission that every figure he has put there is in line with the pinches that he collected? He said, yes. I said, in that case, if he thinks of his life, then his deputy can.
The NDC PC is asking that.
Which one?
His testimony that all the figures are correct.
Oh, that one. When you go to court, he'll be invited.
Okay, but then the NDC PC is also asking that he wants to see a letter of appointment that was given to the deputy returning officer that is now sitting.
All of them were appointed. Half of them I shouldn't make a case because everybody who is working with them, including the presiding officers, all of them were appointed.
You can testify on their behalf that without the letter of appointment, it is legitimate. I'm
not saying the letter of. I'm saying that they have been appointed, so they have their letters.
They have their letters.
Yes.
Is it too difficult for a proof to be shown to the NDCPC?
You cannot be carrying the appointment letters here, but all over the county, ask any return officer or deputy return officer who was appointed presiding officer, they were given appointment letters.
Okay. Any other things you want to share with us?
No, I don't want to make any comment about somebody's statement when I was not there.
How long will this process take? So far, we have done only 2. How long?
I think now the only challenge we are having is with Domi Kwabenya, that the MPP are also contesting that they figure they want to. But the way we are doing others to. When we finish this, we'll concentrate on that and we'll round up.
I think by close of day today, we can get some.
I hope so.
Mr. Shiboko, I have a particular concern. We are told that specific media houses were invited to this coalition. My media house was not invited.
I'm not.
The cameraman is outside, but he has an accreditation. How do you respond?
Bring him in. I've not seen it.
The police.
No, I'm saying ask him to come.
Well, so that is Shiboko talking to us there about happenings here at the Recollection Center. The Central Recollection is also ongoing. We are told they are almost done, and then we were asked to come in here some few minutes ago saying that they are almost done, but I can't see that of the NDCPC here. She walked out because she demanded that the collation process starts all over from the scratch, but according to the EC, they are continuing from where they left off back in the Tema Central. So in this agreement, she, together with that of Honorable Dafemeko, left the place now, and then we are told they are continuing, however, and in the next few minutes they are going to declare to us. Let me take you down there to what exactly is happening at the other side where the recollection is always taking place, because not much is happening here. All we are waiting for now is for this declaration to be made, and you can see the men in uniform doing a great job, and obviously they've been very, 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 very up to the task today, especially from down there where you could see that not enough party supporters are down there, and we are working very fast to the other college center. The place has been divided into 2, where we have that of Dom Kwabenya, that of Okankwe Central, also that of Ablukma North coalition happening on the other side of the building. So that is where we are working to now to see how far they've come with the coalition. Now all that we have at the top now is that of Tema Central, that we are told they are almost ready. But let's get close to this place now and find out where they've gotten to in terms of the coalition. And sorry, media. Sorry. So we are back to this building now, and let me see if I could get some of the, so you could see what you see in picture now is Baba Sadiq still on, and they are not still happy with what is happening. That is the Okankwe Central coalition happening. The man you see in white is Baba Sadiq, the PC for the Okankwe Central, and well, he has raised some legitimate concerns, and Dr. Sirbo has made it clear that indeed the deputy returning officer was legitimately appointed, and that they recognize him, and at the end of the day, whichever declaration he made stands. I'll talk to some people now. Honorable Irabna, can we engage you? You are live now, if you don't mind. Let me talk to you now briefly. So this man, we are told, is the organizer for that of Ablekuma North. Let me try and find out from him how far they've come with the regulation exercise they are happening here. So far, Ablekuma North, what can you tell us?
No, you see, what is happening here is not fair. We came in, we were called at the very last minute. When we came in, EC has started collating using MPP's pink sheets when we were not present. So as we stand now, where we stopped from the last time at 219 of the polling stations that were verified, they've had additional 39 polling stations when we were not around to cross-check. So we've now...
Did they start from the scratch, or they continue from where you left?
They continue from where we left, using only MPP's pink sheets. All this while MPP are saying they don't have any pink sheets in Ablekuma North. But today, MPP have generated a 39 pink sheets that they are using. Very unfortunate incident happening here. Very, very unfortunate.
So these are a few of the concerns, but how soon do you think this is going to end now?
Now we are all at a stalemate. It means we all cannot meet that 281 polling stations of Ablekuma North. What we want to tell them is that they are now waiting for further directive from headquarters. What they are saying, they've used MPP's pink sheets, not verified by NDC, to do their collation. 39.
Is it a case that you're not going to accept what they've done so far?
So far, we've also taken stock of what they are doing. We are cross-checking from our data to make sure that what they've given to the NC is the authentic one. If it is not, we'll raise. So that is what...
Have you seen anything far?
Our IT department, the director of IT is taking care of that. It's doing that.
Okay. So this, what is happening here at the Collation Center, this side is that of the Ablekuma North, and the lady you see back facing the camera is Irabna Obin for the NDC, and then the woman you see in all white over there, that is the NPP. The MPP PC, who is also watching with keen eyes, and let's engage with Baba Sadiq. If Baba Sadiq can get close to us to update us on what exactly is happening at his coalition side. Baba Sadiq, we've seen you've raised some concerns. What are the concerns?
So the concerns is that, rather miraculously, when we came the last time, the MPP said that they didn't have their pink sheets. They actually claimed live on TV that their guys were beaten and the pink sheet was taken from them, to which somebody asked back that whether you reported to the police or not. Miraculously today they have pink sheets. They have some pink sheets, they don't have some of them. Now, we realize that the master pink sheet that the EC has, we don't manufacture pink sheet. We have pink sheet that was given to us by the EC. Today, on some of their master pink sheets, the numbers that are on it are different from the numbers even swapped. So where, for instance, I get 266, it's given to Patrick Yaboma, and then they give us Patrick Yaboma's numbers. And that's the point that we are raising with them currently. You understand? So that's the point that we are saying. So we've had to go back there. Now they are saying that we should proceed. Question we are asking them is that we don't manufacture the pink sheet. The pink sheets are yours. You give it to us. We work with your pink sheet. So
authentic.
They're authentic.
They've be tempered.
They've looked at it right now. They're authentic. So right now we're asking them that, how is it that your numbers are now looking different from our numbers?
Let's get understanding clear.
We cannot proceed. They're asking us to proceed. We say we cannot proceed when we don't answer that question. How and what happened? That's the point that we're saying to them.
You are saying yours is authentic, that of the MPP is not authentic. Is that what you are saying?
The MPP didn't have a pink sheet for the second polling station. They didn't have it. The first polling station, miraculously, they brought a pink sheet to it. There's a pink sheet for the second polling station. And that's the point we are saying to them, that we cannot proceed with this, particularly when numbers are low.
Thank you so much. So that is Baba Sadiq. Let me see if I can get Honorable Patrick Bama to engage with us and also explain to us what is happening at the Okankwe Central. That is the PC for Okankwe Central for the MPP. So your opponent is raising some concerns. He's saying that initially you claim you didn't have pink sheets, but now you've come with a pink sheet.
Don't mind him. We have pink sheets. The EC conducted the elections. They are to collate the results and declare. We found that they've gone to alter their pink sheet to come and challenge that of the ECs. It's very unfortunate.
How are you able to prove that?
The EC just found out that 2 polling stations ran the same code with some challenges on their sheet, and they were questioned. You could see the difference on it. So the EC has been directed to collate the results based on the originals that they have. That's all we are complying with. That's all we are doing.
Do you think you'll get somewhere today?
I'm sure. Thank you.
And you are hopeful of winning?
I won. Not I'm hopeful.
You won?
I did.
Well, so that is Patrick, PC for WeekendCentral. They're hopeful that he's going to win the recollation that is currently happening. For him, the NDC, in a way, allegedly has tempered with their pink sheets, and the EC has found out this is according to Patrick speaking to us there, and the heat is still on there. And then let me see if we can get some more. And the debate is still ongoing here, and WeekendCentral, we are hoping that before the close of day today we'll get somewhere, but both the MPP and NDC have all raised concerns. And then the pictures you see here now is that of Techiman South, also recollation happening smoothly so far. I can't see any of the PC seated here, but the coalition is happening, and they have been very calm. The Techiman South Recollation Center, so far they have been very calm with their process going. Let me engage with sir. So, if you can just explain to us. So you are attending to something now. Well, he's attending to something, and let's get more people to talk to us. But right now, as it stands here, it's like all the presiding officers and out of the party agents are focused, and they are ensuring that everything is done rightly, so that before the end of the day today, the entire coalition that is happening here, it's done perfectly, so that no party comes back to raise any concerns, whether they agree or do not agree. Sir, what is happening? I could see you are not.
Yes,
okay, so, well, he will not talk to us now because he has a lot of other things to engage in. So we are limited in our movements to get close to the other constituencies to know what exactly is happening there, because we've been cutting off from the entire process. So we are not able to pick the sound of what exactly is happening at the WeekendCentral, for instance. You can see a lot is happening there, but we are unable to. So I did done. Okay, so no. So we're just picking the sound. We are just picking the sound of what is. So sir, can we hear what you have to say?
What he's saying, because it's in short. But what is there to hide? What is there to hide?
No, but there's nothing to hide. We cannot get close to where.
My brother, we are working on instruction. Okay, so I beg you.
Okay, so the police will not allow us girls to where the collation is happening. So, what is he saying over there? Okay, so Mr. Ahen, thank you so much for allowing us to come inside again. We are grateful that, but we wish you can allow us to get a little bit closer so that we can. But explain to us how are you able to prevent the party supporters from coming anywhere close to this place, regional director? So you talk to me, because you've seen that we can't see any party. Well, the police will not engage with us, obviously, because of the directive that came from the IGP that every communication should be done by the DPR, as a public relation office of the police administration. So they will not talk to us. But I must say that the police so far have done a great job ensuring that so far there is law and all that. So we have Dr. Sribo here once again, but he's on phone. We want to find out from him if there have been any other developments after the last time we engaged with him, but he's still on phone. Let's see if we can get boss. So are you ready to speak to us now?
Right, sure.
What exactly? So far, what is the argument all about now?
There is a serious anomaly going on in here right now, and as the NDC from WeekendCentral, we are totally rejecting what is being carried out here. The situation is the EC is giving us figures that contradicts the duplicate that they themselves gave to us, and we are asking that the NPP In one instance, when it favors them, they pull out pink sheets. In other instances, where it doesn't favor them, they will say they don't have pink sheets. And then the EC will give us figures that does not tally with the duplicates they gave us. And they are consistently using that to collate the entire results, and then they are intending to announce in favor. When we follow this trend, it will inure to our defeat, which will be a very wrong anomaly in the exercise.
The point is that we've just had discussions with our national leadership, for instance. I mean, prior to coming in here, together with our national leadership of the party, we had already agreed that once our pink sheet is intact and our pink sheet came from the EC, we're good to go. We've come in here right now. When we came in, there were two issues that we raised to the EC. We raised the issue of the returning officer. The regional director had to show us his appointment letter, a new returning officer, his appointment letter on phone. We asked for a copy, it's not been given to us. That's point one. But second part is the fact that of the 31 police stations that's in contention, we've noticed that the EC's numbers is at variance with the numbers that's on the pink sheet that gave us. We don't manufacture pink sheets. The EC gave us the pink sheet. They look at every other aspect of the pink sheet, for instance. It corresponds with their master pink sheet. But for the numbers, where we get more numbers, for instance, is given to the MPP candidate. And where we get, then they give us his less numbers. And that's what they've done. You know, and so we've said to them and asked a question. Where your number is different from our number on the pink sheet, what do? We cannot proceed. The EC, I mean, with the connivance of with the support of the police, wants to insist to proceed on that, and that's the point that we are saying. We're saying that this is criminal. This is criminal. If numbers have been cooked on the master pink sheet or the MPP today, it's criminal. They seem to be singing the same chorus. The MPP candidate is there telling them, "Oh, proceed with your your original pink sheet," which is almost like this. The instructions that they were giving from the get-go. So for us, the point we're saying to them is that if they don't halt the process, for us to having to go through it very well and arrive at a conclusion or a consensus regarding how to deal with the difference.
You have the chance now.
Criminal.
You have the opportunity now. That's why this recollection has been asked.
But they are proceeding with the criminal activity here. They are proceeding with the forgery on their master pink sheet.
Until you agree, how do they move on?
So that's the point that we're saying. We asked them to pause for us to have an agreement. They are not taking our instructions. They are proceeding because they say the instructions that they've been given is to continue with their master pink sheets. And that's the point that we are saying.
We are asking that they halt the entire process.
Of course, because I mean we don't manufacture pink sheets.
So are you walking away now?
And the advice we've gotten right now from the party leadership, because we didn't come here on our own. Of course, we knew that there was a declaration that had been done. We had to speak to our party leadership. In fact, this morning there was a meeting with everybody that are directed that, look, we need to be part of the process. We are coming in the process, right, magnanimous and thinking that, well, the right things will be done. But currently, the questions we raised last week, where their pink sheet was different, continues to what do you call it?
Your final decision now.
The final decision is that the directive that has been given is that we should leave, since they want to do what they want to do, we should leave it. But obviously, this is contentious. They cannot proceed. This is criminal. It is criminal to cook figures on master pink sheets. At this particular point, there even has to be prosecutions. Where the numbers have been cooked, there has to be prosecutions. We cannot proceed to have these things to go on.
Not PC has same concerns now.
From the onset, you could see the collusion that had happened here with the EC, with the police, with everybody else.
So let me engage with the Ablokuma, not PC. Now, she seems to have same concerns about what Baba Sadiq suspended. So, Honorable Rabna, let's speak with you now. Rabna, so speak to us now. What are your concerns too?
Well, I think at the previous recollation, which I got declared, we had outstanding 62 polling stations to collect. Today we got here and the EC has not had pink sheets more than 165.
Ramna, just hold on for me. A minute. So, information just coming in that that of Ablokuma Central has just been Tema Central. That of Tema Central has been declared in favor of the MPP, meaning Ibi Bright lost the seats. The initial declaration that was done in Tema Central was that the NDC won, but now the declaration has been done and the NPP Charles has won the election at Tema Central. That is the information coming in now. So earlier, Erabna was also raising some concern. So it appears it's been 3 in favor of the NPP now, with the NDC not winning any of the seats so far. So, sir, what are the concerns? Erabna, you first.
Well, we had 62 polling stations to collate in Ablekuma North. We got a call late last night. I mean, I wasn't even called. It was a message I got to be at the collation center. We got here this morning, EC already admitting that with Ablekuma North, they only had 165 pink sheets, which had already been collated. And then together, all 3 parties, we collated the outstanding up to 216 pink sheets or polling stations. Today we got here and the EC was already ahead with MPP, collating pink sheets that the MPP side had brought in. The Electoral Commission doesn't have pink sheets, and so how do you now use pink sheets belonging to the opponent or to the other side? How do we verify in our absence? And so we came in and they had already proceeded with about 28 or some 25 polling stations. I don't think we are going to be a party to this. No way.
So you are walking out?
Oh yes, why not? Because if the EC is to provide us with pink sheets, then we'll go. But they have admitted right from the start that they could only make provision for 165, which all 3 parties have already collated. So at this juncture, how do you bring in pink sheets from the MPP and begin collating it for the NDC side to accept it? I think this is daylight robbery and it has to stop.
Dr. Siro, so she is saying that, okay, so he will not talk to me, but the information once again coming in is that Tema Central, Charles, for the MPP has won the Tema Central. Let me talk to the MPP candidate from Ablekuma North. She also want to talk to me now. So what have you to say?
Okay. So last time when we met at our collation center, Methodist Church in Ablekuma North, when the EC was using their pink sheets to collate, the gentleman talking, his name is what? He came there, Kalamu, this gentleman came there and took the EC pink sheet. They came there and took the EC pink sheet. He was captured on video. He tore everything from EC. He tore the pink sheets from EC.
So their concern is that...
Listen, okay, so he tore everything. And then our pink sheets, when we gave the pink sheets to our people to send to the collation center, about 40 or 50 of the pink sheets, they met the guy on the way and tore everything. Little did they know that we had scanned copies of all the 281 polling stations, and they are here. So we kept our 281, and then we got hard copies. We got hard copies of the polling stations. We got hard copies, which is almost about 160. So now they came the second time and they used our pink sheet. The NDC used Equiafriye and MPP in Ablekuma North pink sheet to verify their own, and we gave it to them. We allowed it. We allowed it. We allowed it. We allowed everything because the figures, we didn't mind. What was on our paper was the same. Now what it is that they are hiding their pink sheets in their bag, and they are saying when they see that the thing favors us, when they see that the thing favors us, then they say we don't have. So EC said, bring your pink sheet, and we will also bring our pink sheet. We brought our pink sheet, and they called and verified, and everything was okay.
But but you can verify that the AC doesn't have their pink sheets.
But EC verified from the returning presiding officers. The EC verified from their presiding officers, and they got some. They sent it to them. They sent it to them. They scanned. Now the problem is that when we called them several times to come, immediately we started just about 4 police stations. They came, and the IT person said, yes, 10 o'clock, but we waited till 15 minutes to 12, 15 to 12 before they came. And then when they came, the EC has started with about 4 of the verified ones. Then he showed it to the NDC IT person. He said, oh, it's the same. And then when we finished, they saw that it is still not going well for them. This is what they have resorted to. Do you understand?
But so far, everything is...
don't have any problem. Everything is same.
Everything is same, and you are winning.
Yes, yes. We have collected 7 times. We have collected 7 times. 7 times, and I have won.
What's her name? First of all, what's her name?
One pink sheet. She brought only scanned copies, and we did not accept it. We didn't.
So that is what is happening here at the Ablekuma North Policy Center, where there is some kind of misunderstanding between the NDC and the NPP. For the NPP, they are winning, so they want the process to continue. But that of the NDC, they want the process to halt, because they are saying the Electoral Commission does not have its own pink sheet, and they are using that of the NPP pink sheet to do the recollation, and they will not be part of these activities. And they are also asking that the process be halted, just like that of Okankwe Central. They've also asked the process to be halted. But earlier, some declarations have been made. That includes that of Obuasi, that the NPP won, and also we have that of Isema Adredri, that also the NDC won. And we currently have also been told that of the that of Tema Central have also been declared in favor of the NPP. So let me see if I can get that of Honorable Afonyomakin to give us some detailed explanation. Honorable Afonyomakin, so he's still in his prayer mood. He will not talk to us. He's still in his prayer mood. He will not talk to us. But so far, 3 results have been recollated and declared, and we have that of the NPP winning all 3 so far, and that of Ablekuma North, the NDC is asking that the process be halted. That of Okankwe Central, also the NDC is also asking that that process also be halted. The place is getting heated now as I speak to you, and more policemen have been asked to come into the yard. Let me pick this sound and find out. Okay, so the police is asking that the media do not engage with what is happening so that it does not escalate the problem. So well, as you can see, the PC for the Ablekuma North, Rabna Obin and her team walking out from the coalition center, and the police is aiding them. If they want to go, they can go back. Well, she has come back again to the coalition center, and obviously she has asked that the process be halted for further directive from the superiors, and she says that she's not going to be part of this coalition center. But on the part of the NPP, she is winning, and she is saying that she has won the elections hands down, and that is why the NDC are trying to create some kind of confusion to halt the process. So Rabna and her team said they are working out of the process, and they will not be part of it as we speak. The place is getting heated now. That of Okankwe Central has also come to a halt, but Techima is ongoing with their coalition, and for them it appears they have something working for them, as we've not heard any noise from their side. The other police stations here, that they've all been calm aside that of the Ablekuma North and Okankwe Central, that seems to have some problems. We have Dom Kwabenya also going on at the very far end. Earlier on, I spoke with Magokwe Jr., who is also very hopeful that he's winning that side of the recollation as well. He's very hopeful. Let me see if I can get him to speak to him. and find out where they've got it to so far. And then he's a little bit far away from me. Let me engage with him now and then talk to him.
So you're still here on the Election Command Center, Weekend Central on TV3. What you're seeing are live visuals or live pictures from the Greater Accra Collation Center, where the High Court has directed the Electoral Commission to recollate the results of some 9 contested constituencies in the Greater Accra region, as well as the Eastern and Ashanti region. We already know that the recollation has led to the declaration of some constituencies in favor of the New Patriotic Party. The Obuasi East constituency has been declared in favor of the New Patriotic Party. We know the Nsamum Adwajiri constituency has also been declared in favor of the New Patriotic Party, where Frank Anodompre has been declared the winner. Our correspondent Joseph Armstrong is just informing us that the Tema Central constituency has also been declared in favor of the New Patriotic Party, meaning that Ibi Bright, who was earlier declared the winner in that constituency, is no more the winner. We saw her earlier this morning with her legal aid, Nelson Defiamekpa, who were not so pleased about how the process was going, and so they left earlier. And that is how we're not able to get reactions from her as well as her team there on the ground. And so that is the latest with that. The Ibi Bright is no more the MP-elect for the Tema Central constituency, as was declared earlier. The recollation has led the declaration going in favor of the New Patriotic Party. We'll be going back to the scene to bring you a lot more as our man Joseph Armstrong is joining us. But before we do that, let's go on a quick break. We're back shortly with more.
Walambo! Hey, Walambo! Hey! I asked him to buy me original Polita. Hey, please don't make mistake. Talk to Papa. Open the back man. And you Polita no girl. Hey, Papa. Papa, can Rofo? The Polita is original. The first and the best. What is? Ukota also for dear acrobat using it. Polita, yes. Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period na se problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa na me kwan point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra mienu foforo kwa na mkwan mu a eba and everything yourself me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama no nura ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante
that's end point for you of Roberto. Hello hey ohwehwe what che okay a free bra wo di end point what dance am me ko ye no me Joseph Semana nkoyie and person na my nyina na magina sebema na me be fie for there the one dey nyina jaresa you heard everything I have secret M-Punch is my secret M-Punch from your world. If it's for your clothes now wash your feelings and them your pride tango prime wash by my creamy extra nice maybe I need to be fine. These spotless and be bright. Can't spoil fabrics and it's gentle on your hands. Tango prime was by my penny and your nice.
candidate elect for Afano North constituency.
So that is the declaration for the Ahafo and not being declared now. So far it's 4 for the NPP. Ahafo North has also been declared in favor of the NPP.
Congratulations.
Thank you. No comment.
Prayer.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is 4 in favor of the NPP.
Alexander Penny marking saying that.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are only thanking God.
Yeah, we are thanking God.
All.
So it's 4 in favor of the NPP now, and the NDC are not happy it's happening now. And earlier on we were speaking to that of the NDC Danko Computer, who has described the entire process as illegal, and for him, he and the entire NDC are working out of the process, and they are not going to be part of this because they've served the Electoral Commission that there's an injunction on the process, and they've all received copies, yet they are still going ahead to do the coalition. And you could see Rabbi Obin is also on with it, that she's calling that they stop with the recollation here at the Ablokwa North Recollation Center as well. So that is
What do you know about What will you do? What will you do? You're going to beat him. Yes, you're going to beat him.
I'm on the floor, please.
Hello, ma'am. Oh, so Ablokwa North, they are going to do the declaration for that of Ablokwa North as well. So let's.
62 polling stations on Ablokwa North was having 62 polling stations outstanding. NPP has tendered in 25 polling stations. Now, we are waiting for the NDC to also come in and then verify those 25. The rest of other polling stations we hold on till the commission gives. So we are holding on.
So Ablokwa North is holding on to their recollation because the NDC is not ready to continue with the process. So that declaration did not come on because the NDC is not willing to continue with the process.
25 of them NPP has tendered in. NDC must also bring their pin sheet for us to confirm those 25. So if we are able to do those 25, we will left with 37. As it stands now, we are left with the 62 polling stations not collated. I'm done.
Finishing and declaring today?
No, I'm not declaring today. I'm referring everything to the commission, for the commission to take its own decision. I'm done with my work because I cannot continue with this recollation again. My name, yes. What I'm saying is that NPP tendered in 25 of them, and NDC must also come to the table and verify those 25, and then the 37 left is outstanding. So now making 62 outstanding with 25 to be verified by NDC. Now I hand over everything to the commission. I'm done.
Your name.
I have authenticated the one. It's left with NDC to say yes or no, because that was the game we began. The game was that when you bring a pin sheet, your other side will say yes or no. So it is up to them to come and say yes or no.
Your name and
I'm the returning officer of Ablokwa North for being Vincent.
Why are you truncating that?
What is the fear? What is the fear? I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. The fact is that as I stand here, I don't have any document to continue, and both parties are also not having.
The MPP, it's a legal tender.
The
one you gave to us.
I'm coming. I have not given a document to NPP.
I'm saying that at the polling station.
Yes, and
you gave us copies.
I'm coming, and NPP cannot continue to even give me the 37 left. They are saying they have scanned seats. The scan sheet came from a primary source. So I need that primary source.
That
so
destroyed by the NDC.
That is, you have to prove it. So what I'm saying is that those 37, I cannot continue because both sides cannot give me anything to work with. Thank you.
So that is the returning officer of Ablekuma North halting the process because both parties, the NDC and the MPP, are not able to provide their pink sheets. So he's handing over the entire process to the Electoral Commission head office to continue on because he cannot continue. He doesn't have the pink sheet to continue working with. And MPP, that seems to be winning earlier, is not happy about his current position. That of the NDC have already worked out from the place, but the MPP is still insisting that the recollation continue because they have their pink sheet. Let me engage with this guy from the NPP side now. So he just said that you don't have all the pink sheets. The PC will talk. He's going to hold on with the coalition.
No, please. Hello.
So you could see the presiding officer moving away because for him he cannot continue with the process now. But he has been called to come back, and then well, the police want to take custody of him now. They are moving him to a safe ground now. You see him being guided towards that direction to sit there because it appears that out there is not safe for him to walk out. But earlier Ahafo North was declared, and this is the PC. This is now the NP elect for Ahafo North, who also happens to be the NADMO director, and he's now NP elect.
Thank you. Let's give thanks to God. No comment. Thank you.
Well, so he has been declared, but his declaration, according to NDC, is illegal, and they are not going to part of this. So, even though he is jubilating, NDC is yet to also agree, as they claim they've secured a court injunction, according to Tanko Computer, that this process happening here is illegal. So, madam, earlier you spoke to me that...
Boss, I have already told you several times that he's not granting interview now. Hold on.
That's okay. So the process has been halted, and then, well, so he will not talk to me because initially when she was ready to talk to me, she spoke to me, and now that the process has halted, this man will be shouting at us. They will not let her talk to me, and NDC has worked out, and MPP waiting right here, even though the presiding officer has ended his work. He has handed over the job to the national office, and that's a PC for the NPP from Ablekuma North. Not happy, obviously, from the looks on her face. You can see she's not happy, and we'll try and engage with Afenyo Makin and ask him what he makes of the development here at Ablekuma North. But so far, 4 of the constituencies, Ahafo North has gone down for the NPP. Tema Central has also been declared, and that also is in favor of the NPP Charles. Ofusu, that of Obuasi, has also gone down for the NPP. And so far, we have Isama Dwejiri also been declared in favor of the NPP. So 4 of the constituencies have been declared so far, and the NPP happens to have won all 4 seats that were initially in favor of the NDC, but for that of Ablekuma Central and Ablekuma North, the PCs here will not take it. The process has been halted, and you heard the presiding officer of the Ablekuma North say he cannot continue with the recollation exercise now, and he has ended his work, and with the aid of the regional police commander, he has been ushered in to sit somewhere safe for the time being. So that process, as I speak to you now, has halted. That of Okankwe Central has also been halted, with the NDC agents, with the PCO walking out from the building. So that is what is happening here currently. The MPP agents and the PC are putting their heads together to see the way forward, their next line of action, because obviously if the presiding officer says he cannot continue with the process because both parties do not have the pink sheet for him to continue with the recollation exercise, they have to think of what next to do. But for Tanko Mbarim, we spoke to earlier on, these activities happening here is illegal because they have secured a court injunction and they've served the EC officials, and he's wondering why they are still going on with the recollation exercise that is happening here. So if what he's saying is anything to go by, all the 4 constituencies that have been declared so far, which include that of Obuasi, Isema Dredri, Ahafo North, and Tema Central, that have been declared so far, it means that all that, if the court injunction that has been placed on the process is anything to go by, it means that all those declarations are all going to be annulled and maybe another recollation exercise taking place. We are going to keep our eye on this development. So far, CAM has returned to this place as the police have managed to bring some orderliness among us. Obviously, the media needs to come to one side to ensure that the presiding officers carry on with their work without any fear of favor. You could see the table of the Okankwe Central. The only PC there is that of the NPP, that is Patrick, and also the leader of the NPP, still going ahead with the coalition center, even though the NDC says that the process should halt. The recollation is still taking place there now as we speak, and hopefully they will also finish in some few minutes and the declaration will be done, but that will be done without the NDC's presence and their agents taking part in it because they have ordered that the process been halted.
So we've been bringing you live visuals from the Greater Accra Coalition Center at the old EC office, where after the High Court directed the Electoral Commission to recollate the results of some contested constituencies, the exercise has been going on since morning. Already 4 of these contested constituencies have been declared in favor of the New Patriotic Party. Let me quickly run us by these constituencies. And we have the Tema Central constituency going in favor of the NPP, and so Charles Forsing is now the MP-elect for that constituency. Earlier, it was Ibi Bright, but according to the results just announced, she is no more. It is now in favor of Charles Forsing, who is on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. We also have the Obuasi East constituency also being won by Patrick Boachi-Adam, who is also on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. Frank Anot Dompre, also the NPP for the Nsaum Adredri constituency. And then I have for Anu North, Eric Nana Ajiman Prempe, also from the New Patriotic Party. So that makes it 4 out of the 9 contested constituencies. Bringing us 4, we have 5 more outstanding. We already heard the presiding officer of the Ablekuma constituency saying he's not able to continue the process because he doesn't have the full complement of the pink sheet to do that. We'll see how that one pans out, but we'll come back and bring you more after this break. Don't go away. All right, before we go on that break, Godwin, take over.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned in Ablekuma North, the presiding officer made mention of the fact that he doesn't have all the documents to ensure that the exercise will be done and completed as soon as possible. So it means that will be halted at the moment. But Alfred Okansey is with us here in the studios to run us through some of the constituencies that have been pronounced by the EC, and also for us to get to know who won what in which constituency. So Alfred, take it away.
Well, so yeah, as you indicated, both you and Grace, the point you made about the Ablekuma North constituency, as a returning officer decided not to continue the process because the NDC is not present. In fact, the NDC has effectively boycotted the entire process, as we're seeing ongoing at the Electoral Commission's Greater Accra Regional Office. Earlier, for the Tema Central constituency, Nelson Roxon Dafiamepo, who served as legal aid to that's Ibi Bright, who is the NDC candidate who was earlier declared as the MP-elect, had indicated that to the extent that the court ruled that the recollation should be done all over again. And that's actually the entire essence of recollation. You do the collation all over again. The metro officer for the Electoral Commission for Tema Metropolis had on his own decided that we were going to start the process at the point where they ended, which was contrary to what the law or what the court had declared that they should do. So as a result of that point of departure, they decided to boycott the process. Now, we're yet to hear from Nelson Rosin, Dafiamepo, and Ebi Bright what they're going to do next with regards to this. But what has happened now essentially flips this earlier results back to the NPP,
right,
with Charles Forsing now being elected. In fact, if you look at the earlier results that was declared, making Ebi Bright the MP-elect at the time, she polled a little over 15,800 votes as against Charles Forsing, which was a little over 15,400 votes. What's happened now, the Electoral Commission, after doing the collation again, or recollation, they have put Charles Forsing rather to 15,800 and over, as against Ebi Bright's 15,400 and over. So it appears that with what we have seen in the constituencies where the results were flipped, for instance, with Obuasi East as well, you had Sabola Bwaji of the NDC polling a little over 8,900. And then there was that 19 different votes. What we saw today is that for the same situation, there's been a flip of the results in almost similar margins of victory, this time around in favor of the MPP. So that's where the contention is as to what exactly went on and how the recollation was done. Because bear in mind, the NDC is not part of the process. So their agents are not present for the entire validation or recollation as we speak. That's why there are many who are also making reference to the Ablekuma North returning officer who has decided that for as long as NDC is not present to also validate the 25 pink sheet results that the MPP has presented, he's not going to continue with the process.
Right.
Because he wants the NDC to be present to also validate the 25 pink sheets the NPP has presented. There's 37 pink sheets outstanding, which is yet to be presented.
Yeah.
Now, as to whether that should have been the same position that all the other returning officers of these other constituencies should have taken is another matter that we can discuss. But for the Ablekuma North returning officer, he says he wants the NDC to be present before the entire process continues. So we'll see how the coming other ones would look like. But for the Nsomadrejri, there was no declaration. So this latest one that we had this morning, making the incumbent MP, Frank Anodompre, the MP again retained, is a development that has no precedence as yet. For Dom Kwabenya as well, you were there, Godwin, and the returning officer for Dom Kwabenya declared Faustina Kurugu as the MP-elect. There was that vote difference of a little over 1,100.
Absolutely.
So we're going to see if the recollation takes place without the NDC's presence. Because Faustina Kurugu, we understand, it's not there. It's only Michael Kwe Jr. who has been cited there, right? So we'll see the vote difference between them as to whether it's still going to be the 1,100 that we saw on that day that she was declared, I think 2 days after, December 9th, right? And then for Okaikwe Central, you saw Baba Sadiq as well speaking to the media. Baba Sadiq is there. He was declared as MP-elect on the ticket of the NDC. For the Okaikwe Central constituency, here's the issue. There are 141 polling stations. The declaration of Baba Sadiq was done with 110 polling station results. The 31 outstanding was as a result of some issues the NDC identified with the pink sheets of those 31 constituencies. We understand that the handwriting and signature on all the 31 polling station results were the same. The one that was presented by the NPP. And they were actually photocopies and not the carbon copies of the pink sheets. So as to whether that will pass or that will stand in the face of what the law says in terms of what copies of the pink sheets the party should have, either a photocopy or the carbon copy, we'll see how Okaikwe Central will also play out. But Baba Sadiq is there. I think it appears he is the, apart from Baba Sadiq, we've seen that's also for Ablekuma North. Irabina Obin.
Yeah,
so Irabina
she's been
Obin
speaking
there as well. So Irabina Obin is there for the NDC. She was also declared the MP-elect. And Naneke Free for the MPP, former MP who defeated Sheila Bartels and is a candidate for the MPP in Ablekuma North, is the one who also we heard speaking there. For Ablekuma North, the declaration was made in favor of the NDC. That's also up for recollation. Now, there was a difference of just about over 300 votes. We'll see what happens in this instance as well. But these are issues really that begs for a lot of questions, especially because of the process that this has taken and what is happening at the Greater Accra Regional Electoral Commission office. Yes, the court has actually directed that the recollation should be done. We understand there's 5,000 police and military presence there. But then again, since it's happening in most cases for most of the constituencies with the absence of the NDC, does that also raise questions about the process itself, especially because of what the returning officer for Ablekuma North has decided to do?
And I'm also wondering what could be the worst for the Ablekuma North constituency, because if we can recall, some 4 days ago, the Koshiman cluster of schools got banned.
True.
And according to eyewitnesses there, they claimed they saw some well-built men who besieged the school somewhere around 1:40 a.m. That was in the wee hours of Tuesday. They besieged the premises with police officials who were also there to, guard the place to ensure that no one makes their way into the school. So somewhere around the school library where most of these electoral materials were kept was the place where these people had to besiege, go into the place, brought out some ballot papers and then burnt them right at the backyard of the school. So let's say...
You were there.
Absolutely, I was there. So let's say there's an announcement, because the returning officer, like you rightly mentioned, indicated that he won't be able to go further with the pronouncement of the results because they don't have all the documents. So yes, if let's say there's going to be recounting of votes, what are they going to rely on?
It's a very important point you make there, because we understand this declaration of Ablekuma North was done without the results of some 2 pink sheets. Now, if that has to be referenced with this burning of the ballot papers and the ballot boxes, it raises fundamental concerns. A very important point that you make. But let's go back to the EC office, right? The Greater Accra Regional Office of the Electoral Commission. And Godwin, we have Armstrong there.
Armstrong is there. I'm sure he's poised now to bring us up to speed. What happenings at the old EC office? So Armstrong, you can take away.
So far, CAM has returned to the recollation center here at the Greater Accra Regional Police Center. Earlier, some police stations have been declared, some constituencies have been declared in favor of the NPP. I have here with me in that of the Ahafo and North, where the election went in favor of that of the NPP, and we have the figures here. We have the figures here now. So far, we have that of the NPP securing some 20,353 votes. The NPP Eric Nana Ajiman securing some 20,353 votes, and the NDC Kwesi Edusei securing 20,232 votes. The NPP Eric Nana Ajiman securing some 20,353 votes, and that of the NDC Kwesi Edusei securing 20,232 votes. And then the other one that was declared is that of the Insama Advisory, where the NPP also won that. We have Arno Dompre securing some 29,640 votes, and the NDC securing 29,433 votes. I repeat, we have the NPP candidate for the Insama Advisory securing some 29,640 votes, and the NDC candidate securing some 29,433 votes. You could see the EC just announcing that they are getting ready for another declaration to take place now. Now, let's check the figures from that of Tema Central, where the NPP Charles Forcing securing some 18,870 votes, and the NDC Ibi Bright securing 18,815 votes. The NPP Charles Forcing for Tema Central securing 18,870 votes, and the NDC Ibi Bright securing some 18,815 votes for the Tema Central. So another declaration is just about to be made, and this is from the Ablekuma. This is from the Okankwe Central, coming to do the declaration now. So the presiding officer is ready.
Good afternoon, media. My name is Harrison Kwabna Ejakwa, Deputy Returning Officer for Okankwe Central. The court order given yesterday and by the EC directive that we have to recollect the left polling stations that were not added to the previous declared one. That in total they were 31. So that is by the court order we came to add the 31 polling stations to make it 141 centers, including special voting. A previous declaration, Patrick Yabuama got 14,949, and Abdullahi Abubakar Sadiq got 15,383. By the 31 polling stations added today, Patrick Yabuama got 6,150, and Abdullahi Abubakar Sadiq got 3,985. Total for Patrick Yabuama is now 21,099, and total for Abdullahi Abubakar Sadiq is 19,368. The total valid votes cast for Patrick Yabuama is 21,099. Total vote cast for Abdullah Abubakar Sadiq is 19,368. Total rejected is, total valid votes is 40,467, and rejected ballots, total rejected ballot is 198. The total of the votes in the box is 40,165. Per the results, and by the court order, I do hereby announce and declare that Patrick Yabuama has been elected as the MP for Okankwe Central constituency. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right. Well, so that's the declaration for the Okankwe Central, where the NPP Patrick Yabuama has been declared the winner for the Okankwe Central, and he's just about talking to us.
For your patience. I know you've all waited for some time to listen to the declaration. In elections, to compete is part of democracy. To lose is part of democracy, and to win is also part of democracy. So let me congratulate my competitor, the National Democratic Congress, and also use the opportunity to thank the teaming supporters of the MPP in the Okankwe Central constituency and the National Party at large. We fought a good fight, we waged a very good campaign, And God has been so good to us. We thank the good Lord for giving us victory. Thank you for the support from the leadership of our party and from Parliament. You can see the majority leader here and some members of Parliament, as well as some members of the general public and the constituency around to support and witness this very important declaration. I thank you very much, media, for your presence. God bless.
This is illegal.
So that's easy. MP-elect for the Okankwe Central speaking to us there after his declaration. So per the EC's figures, Patrick Yabwama pulled some 21,090 votes, and we have the NDC Abdullahi pulling some 19,368 votes. So making Patrick Yabwama as the MP-elect for Okankwe Central. But this, let's put on record that this was done without the NDC continuing with the recollation process, because earlier they put out and asked that the recollation process be halted. And I saw Baba Sadiq and his agents walking out a while ago, but the AC went ahead and did a recollation and has now declared Patrick Yabwama as the MP-elect for the Okankwe Central. That of the Ablekuma North has been halted because the returning officer has left the seats and says he cannot continue with the recollation exercise. So that process has halted. We have other police stations here like Dom Kwabenya also currently ongoing. Hopefully in the next few minutes they will also come out with their declaration. But so far, 5 constituencies have been declared so far, and all 5 constituencies have gone to the MPP. Initially, these declarations was done at the various constituencies, and that went in favor of the NDC. But now, as we speak, all the results have turned in favor of the MPP, and this includes out of Obuasi. The MPP has now won. Tema Central MPP has been declared winner. We have Ahafano North. Also, the NPP has won. Okankwe Central, that was just declared, NPP has taken it, and the NDC says they are not going to be part of this illegal process because they've secured a court injunction. So they have all worked out, as I speak to you now, with the only people we have here includes the police service, the security personnel, they have the EC officials, and that of MPP, PCs and agents. But for NDC agents and parliamentary candidates, they've all worked out from the process, describing the entire process as illegal.
Right, so we know that in the Okankwe Central, the EC chair, Jean Mensah, for instance, made mention of the fact that the winner was declared without results from 31 polling stations, and in the Ablekuma North constituency, also without result of 62 polling stations. And in her own words, she said, in Okankwe Central, I did mention that 110 polling station results were used to declare a winner instead of 141. The commission would not uphold that process, and that was when she was engaging the media. And just like we've heard from the grounds, we know that Patrick Yabwama was able to garner 21,099 votes, and Abubakar Sadiq 19,368 votes, making Patrick Yabwama now the MP-elect for the Okankwe Central constituency. 5 seats have been declared so far, all in favor of the National Democratic Congress. Interesting things happening, Alfred.
Very interesting indeed. And I tell you what, from what we are seeing right now, with the absence of the NDC at this coalition center, the recoalition, for that matter, center at the Greater Accra Regional Office of the Electoral Commission, you would not be wrong to say that we're just going to see a one-way traffic of this recoalition exercise. 5 so far done. In Swama Dredgery, there was no declaration. We've seen now Frank Anodompre declared MPP. Ahafano North, Ahafano Southwest is still outstanding. Yeah. Right. Ahafano North, Obuasi East MPP, Ahafano North MPP, Okankwe Central has just been declared for the MPP, and Tema Central. Technically, now we're left with the Ablekuma North may not be done today because the returning officer says, look, the NDC is not present to validate the pink sheets that the MPP has brought. So I'm not going to go with the entire process of Ablekuma North. Then, for Techiman South, you have the incumbent MP that is Minister for Local Government, Rural Development and Decentralization. That's Martin Ejemen-Sakosa, also in there. We saw him earlier there at the Coalition Center. The NDC candidate is not there as we speak. In fact, we've seen some social media videos indicating that for Techiman South as well, there was some declaration of the NDC candidate there. And that's also up now for a matter of contention now. So for the Dom Kwabenya as well, as we indicated, that is also one that we understand is going to be recollation. But you were there all throughout the 48 hours and over that. The entire process took at the Dom Kwabenya constituency. Faustina Akurugo effectively declared as MP-elect on ticket of the NDC with a little over 1,100 votes difference. Now, was there any specific issue with the Dom Kwabenya constituency declaration?
Well,
what happened there?
There were quite a number of things that erupted in the Coalition Center. But just before the announcement was made at the various polling centers, I can recall that in one of the biggest polling centers in Dom Kwabenya, which has close to over 12 polling centers, the NDC won largely. It went in favor of Faustina Akurugo. And speaking to some of the constituents there, they made mention of the fact that such a thing had never happened in Dom Kwabenya before. So they were all awaiting for the results to be counted and also mentioned at the end of the day, and all went in favor of the NDC.
I see.
Fast forward to when we got to the Coalition Center, we saw that quite a number of the NDC supporters had besieged the premises, jubilating with excitement written all over their faces, hoping that Akurugo will be announced as the MP-elect for the Dom Kwabenya constituency. Most of the reasons that they shared was that they needed development in the community, because they made mention that when it comes to their roads, health facilities, their school infrastructures that have been built and not completed. So they want all of that to happen. And that was the reason why most of them were vying or supporting that Akurugo will be declared the MP-elect. So quite a number of the NDC supporters were at the Coalition Center for 48 hours, hoping that it will go in favor of her. Now, it got to a point where we had some NPP officials coming in. And speaking to Mike Okwe Jr., he also mentioned that some of his people were attacked, including an EC official when they were bringing in some of their pink sheets. That was the next day on December 8th, for them to be able to work together with the EC officials so that they will collate the results and at the end of the day declare, so that whoever it will go in favor of, it will be a peaceful exercise at the end of the day. But that couldn't happen. Because the exercise was delaying due to these disturbances, it angered some of the NDC supporters who were at the Coalition Center, and they had to come to the Coalition Center. They started destroying things, and it halted the process for close to 2 hours. I can recall that an EC official passed out within the process and had to be rushed to the hospital. And even before that could happen, the NDC supporters mentioned that she was trying to escape. So they blocked the police vehicle that was trying to, evacuate her from the premises where the whole chaos was happening. So yes, Dom Kwabenya in general, I think wasn't really calm this time around. We know for a fact that for a number of years, it's been a stronghold of the New Patriotic Party, from Professor Michael Kwe coming down to Adjo Asafo and all the brouhaha surrounding her being dismissed from Parliament and, losing the primaries to Michael Kwe Jr. as well. The constituents thought that this time around they need a change, and that was the reason why I think it brought about all of these issues. But I should think that looking at how the pronouncements are going, or should I say the declarations, Faustina Akurugo should be in hot waters now, because things are flipping and we do not really know what will pan out at the end of the day. So,
and that's why I asked you that question about exactly what happened in the constituency during the coalition. Because in these other constituencies we've seen, the reason that led to the dispute was either some pink sheets not being available and added to the final declaration that was made. Were there any outstanding pink sheets when declaration was made in Dom Kwabenya?
So when the declarations were made in there, they didn't have any NPP agents or members of the NPP there. It was solely members of the NDC, including the aspirant for the NDC, which is Eleclim Faustina Akrogo. And let me go back to Michael Quay Jr. again. Yeah. He said when they were bringing in their pink sheets in the morning, which was on December 8th, they were stopped at the entrance of the Collation Center. Constituents were seen attacking the EC officials. We saw that they were burning of some ballot papers within the premises, including boxes as well, which most of the constituents belonging to the camp of the NDC were saying that the ballot papers were fake. And we actually have videos for that. We cannot prove if indeed it was or not, but that was the reason why they had to stop those papers from getting to the top where the collation exercise was happening. And we can also recall that after the results were declared, Michael Quay Jr. had a press conference where he addressed all of these issues and also raised concerns that he does not think that the NDC supporters were being fair to him because they were trying to bring in results that they had collated from their sites so that they will be able to put everything together and give a fair declaration at the end of the day. But the NDC supporters did not allow that to happen. So he made mention of the fact that they were going to get in touch with the EC. In fact, during the collation of the results, he called on the EC officials, or should I say the EC chair, to halt the process in the Dom Kwabenya constituency. Right. He spoke in an interview with Bella Mundi on December 8th. And, you know, he wasn't really happy about how everything was going regarding the exercise there. So now that all of this is happening, I'm sure he's also happy because, I mean, it has gone in his favor in a way, calling for a recollation of results in that constituency. So yes, it's definitely a constituency that we should keep an eye on and also monitor to see how the results will be declared at the end of the day. If it should go in favor of the NPP, it means they're going to retain the seat, and it will still remain the stronghold of the NPP. But if things should flip, then it means that Eleclim Akrogo also has a lot of work to do.
Indeed, and you see, if the concern in Dom Kwabenya was that the NPP agent and the candidate was not present, then we're going to be joined by a lawyer shortly, but then that same principle applies in here. With what we've seen with the NDC not being present at all these declarations, we're getting a strong signal that they had indicated they're going to seek redress in the court of law. Because yesterday, after the declaration and decision by the courts directing the Electoral Commission to go ahead with this process of recollation of the 6 constituency results under police and military protection, for that matter, the NDC also went to seek a stay of execution of this process. And the hearing of this case, although yet to be heard, we would want to find out whether the application for a stay of execution invalidates the process and what is happening right now at the Electoral Commission's Greater Accra Regional Office. Because with the absence of the NDC there and all these declarations being made, what is the position of the law? And we'll get back to that shortly. But if you recall, the first declaration that was made for WeekendCentral, which made that's Baba Sadiq, the MP elect. Then this was that was just about December 9. He polled 15,400 and over 15,400 votes, as against Patrick Yabuama, who was an incumbent MP at the time, polling just about 14,900. With the declaration right now, adding the 31 polling stations that were outstanding at the time on December 9. That put him to 21,099, as against Baba Sadiq, 19,368. If you look at the issues that the NDC raised about the 31 polling stations, that's the pink sheet results, which have now been added, that the handwriting on those pink sheets were the same, signature almost looking similar, and that they were going to raise some criminal charges against even the returning officer for the constituency for supervising what they described as a criminality, because it cannot be the case that all 31 polling stations would have the same handwriting. The polling station, that's the pink sheets, will have the same handwriting and so on. But then again, it is for the NDC to take this up going forward. But for the MPP right now, with what we are seeing there, they have all their people present. and the candidates present there as well, and witnessing the entire declaration process. Earlier, we saw Arabna Obin, who is the NDC parliamentary candidate for the Ablekuma North constituency. She was there together with Nanekwe Afriye, whom you see in the pink scarf headgear that you see there. But as we understand right now that Arabna Obin has also left this venue. It appears that there's been a directive to all the NDC candidates to leave this place, and because the process there, according to the party, is illegal. Godwin.
Yes, things are just flipping all around, not just the results going in favor of the NPP now, but we can also recall that at the various coalition centers where most of the NDC candidates won, you could spot just the NDC members in there. During declarations, you don't find the NPP members or the parliamentary candidates. And now it is going in favor of the NPP, and we are not seeing the NDC members there as well. So what at all is happening?
Let's look at what the position of the law is.
Right.
Godwin. Okay. So Regulation 43 of Public Election Regulation, that's the CI 127, which guided this election process. We'll use CI 127 in the 2020 elections and then the 2024 elections as well. Every election has its own CI guiding it. If you look at Regulation 43.1, it says, and I quote, subject to Regulation 42, immediately after the results of the poll for all the polling stations in the constituency of the returning officer have been given to the returning officer, the returning officer shall, and this, you take note of the language. There is no other alternative for the returning officer. He shall, in the presence of the candidates, that's a plural expression there, in the presence of the candidates or the representatives of the candidate, or not more than 2 counting agents appointed by each candidate. So that either the candidates must be present or the agents appointed by the candidates must be present, not just one candidate, but the candidates who contested in the elections, all of them must be present. Assemble the results from the polling station without recounting the ballots in the ballot boxes, except where there's a challenge by a candidate or a counting agent in respect of a specific ballot box. And then goes on, fill the parliamentary election results summary sheet as set out in Form 1D of the schedule. C, give public notice of the total number of votes cast for each candidate. When we talk about giving public notice, that's what we've seen them doing, announcing the total number of votes cast for each candidate, and then publicly declare as elected in a parliamentary election the candidate who had the highest votes. And that's what we've seen done. In fact, we have videos of the previous declarations that were done in some of these constituencies that we are seeing being redeclared now. For Tema Central, for instance, when Ebi Bright was declared as the MP-elect on December 9, we have that video for you. The concern that the EC officer, returning officer, raised was that that declaration was done under duress. And it's one of the bases for which this recollation is being done right now. In fact, every constituency had a reason why the recollation is taking place. For Kakwe Central, this 31 outstanding polling station results were the basis for the recollation. We've seen for the Obuasi East as well, you had the Electoral Commission also raising issues about it not following due process. And as a result, they had to do the redeclaration. Now, let's look at what happened in Tema Central on December 9. That previous declaration and the notice by the returning officer there that he did this under duress. Take a look.
The results are ready to be declared. And the result is as follows. The MPP candidate in the person of Charles Forces had 18,421 votes. The NDC candidate in the person of Ibi Bright had 18,539. Total valid vote 37,308. By this result, I hereby declare Madam Ibi Bright
Well, so that's what happened earlier in the Central constituency, we saw. But what is happening today, in the absence of the NDC at the Electoral Commission Greater Accra office, is that this declaration has been overturned effectively, declaring Charles Forsyth of the MPP as the MP-elect for the Tema Central constituency. Now, here's what we can say, that the NDC, from what we're getting quite strong indication that they've ordered all their candidates. Earlier, we showed you videos of Ibi Bright, who was there, left with Nelson Ross Ndafiamipo, her legal aid, and then also Baba Sadiq left the place even before the coalition was done. Also, we had Erabna Oben of the Ablekuman North constituency, who was declared as MP-elect, also was there earlier at this venue of the EC recollation. He left the place as well. So as we speak now, we don't have any NDC candidate in these disputed constituencies present at this recollation center. But the Electoral Commission is going ahead with the declaration as we speak. George Quinning is at the EC Greater Accra Regional Office where this recollation is taking place right now. And outside, we have him there, and we have Armstrong as well inside the center. George, what's happening where you are?
Of some outstanding and disputed constituencies are being conducted. So far, 5 out of 9 constituencies have had their results declared, and all have gone in the favor of the MPP. And I just want to run you through these constituencies. It's Tema Central, and Nsawam Adrejui, Afano North, Obuasi East, and Okaikwe Central. These results have been declared, and I just want to paint to you how the outside looks like. I'm sure you've been given much information on how the inside looks like, all the collation center, and how the process is ongoing there. But this is how it looks like. The security presence is quite high here. It includes the security forces from the military, from the police and fire service. They are all here to man security to ensure that the process is smooth and transparent. But we have some, party faithful from the NDC, and they are coming from the Ablekuman North constituency. And for them, they are leaving because the coalition of the result for that very constituency has been halted. And I have the MP-elect. She was declared on the 7th of December, and she believes she's still the MP. She's leaving. She's not going to take part of the whole process because it's been halted. Good afternoon, and you're live on TV3, madam.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to your viewers and listeners.
So you came here and you mentioned that the process started without you had party agents of the MPP present, and you came later to, monitor the process. Why are you leaving now?
The process has been halted, obviously. It's a crime scene, and so we need to leave. We came in much earlier than the MPP side. But in the spirit of fairness, we thought we would wait for them to turn up. Then we all go in and then begin the process. I'm not sure what time they turned in, but when we got in there, the EC and the MPP, about 6 on their side with the EC officials, were already going through some collation of statement of polls. And so we queried the process, that what's happening, and they said the MPP, who from onset had said, even at the regional collation center, that they didn't have pink sheets, had all of a sudden brought in some nearly 30 pink sheets for collation. And so we asked the EC, what's your position on this? Because how do you begin a process or initiate a process in the absence of the interested party, and in this case, the NDC? And they couldn't give us any answers. We observed them going through it for a while, and then we thought this was not right. And so we again spoke to the district director. That what's the process? I mean, what's happening here? And he said the MPP have supplied them with pink sheets, and so they are using it to collate the remaining or the outstanding 62 polling stations that were left to be collated or had to be collated. At that juncture, I think we all we became alarmed. If the EC that is supposed to be collating or to be a referee to both parties has now taken sides and is using a part of the team to play the game, then obviously that should tell you that we are headed down the wrong
I don't know if you were in Tesano for the recollation exercise. What both parties resolved to do was that in cases where you, the party agents, don't have your pink sheet, they'll use that of the Electoral Commission's pink sheet. But for them to go entirely with just one party's pink sheet, how did you push to ensure that that was, rectified? Oh no, I mean, at the district collation center, we were able to collate, I think, 165 that the EC had. Let me just put this on record. The EC did not even have the full complement of our presidential results, but that will be a story for another day. And we had the full complement of our presidential results. We had our pink sheets, and the MPP did not have a single pink sheet at the district collation center. We came here to continue with the collation. That was day 2. And then we were able to collate some 219 polling stations. This is where the declaration was made, leaving some 62 polling stations. There were outstanding polling stations. Outstanding polling stations. Today, we've been asked to come here, all parties, and do a recollation or to continue with the process. So we're expecting a seamless process. We're expecting a good amount of fairness, transparency, only to get here and meet EC, an extension of the MPP syndicate. You have evidence of that? Can you prove? You saw what happened. But I can testify that. You can't testify. I am speaking to it, that this is what we came and then witnessed, that the MPP had provided the Electoral Commission with pink sheets to collect results and then declare. Who does that? I'm not ready to accept that, and so it has to halt. The whole process is halted. So now that you're going in case maybe the results are declared in favor of the MPP? They cannot declare the result because the returning officer has admitted that that is an error. The EC officials in there have admitted that it is an error on their side. They are human too. Some of them have conscience. I mean, if a part of them wants to, distort the process, I don't think the entire body wants to do that. We all have a conscience. Before I let you go, hold on. Yeah. When I asked the EC official who authorized him to go ahead with that illegality, he said it in the presence of his heads, that it was one of their directors. So this whole thing is a planned something that the EC have decided to push down the throat of the NDC. But it cannot happen in Ablekuma North, because in the constituency where MPP has been winning, so-called from 96, today it is evidently clear that it has been rigging right from day one, because in 2020 the vote margin was 24,000. Today they are struggling to win with even 10 polling stations or 10 votes. And so you can't come here, twist our arms, and then try and wrestle power out of us. And right now I've been won the elections fair and square through hard work and dedication. Before I let you go, and I don't know if you know, 5 out of the 9 have been declared, and that is all gone in the favor of the MPP. And how ridiculous. I mean, how ridiculous. Look, I have no comment on this. It's absurd. Rabno being as the parliamentary candidate for elect. Okay, but until the recollation is done, for us to redeclare. So Rabna, Obin is the NDC parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma North, and for her, she's walking away because the exercise has been halted. And even if the results are declared in her absence, she still hopes that she is the MP elect for the constituency and should go as far as to ensure that that is rectified. And so we are still coming to you live from the Regional Coalition Center here at Accra Ridge, and the re-coalition exercise is currently ongoing. Police presence is quite high here, as you can see behind me. It goes as far as to the end of this very road to ensure that transparency and some sort of law and order is actually upheld here to ensure this exercise is quite fruitful. Like I mentioned, 5 out of the 9 constituencies have been halted. An interesting one is that of Baba Sede's constituency, that is Okaike Central. So on the 7th of December, the results were declared and went in the favor of the NDC, and that was excluding 31 polling stations. And so the re-coalition had these 31 polling stations being added. And so after the 31 polling stations were, counted, the NDC garnered some 3,985 votes, and then the MPP had 6,150 votes. But before, the total of the results of the polling stations was 15,383 in favor of the NDC and 14,949 in favor of the MPP. So after this very re-coalition exercise, the MPP has been declared winner for the Okaike Central constituency. So we will still bring you live updates from the center, but this is the exterior part of the whole process, and this is this police presence high. We have that of the military here, we have the fire service here, trying to ensure that we maintain some law and order whilst the process is ongoing. My name is George Quinning. I'll bring you more updates as and when I get them.
Right, so that's George Quinning there, and giving us a clear view of what's happening outside the venue of this constituency coalition center, as we're seeing right now here on your election command center. Joseph Armstrong is inside the coalition center, so we're giving you the outside view and what's happening inside as well, just to give you an idea of how things are playing out. There's heavy police presence there. We understand a 5,000 man deployment at this venue, and these are the constituencies that we're going to see redeclaration done in the absence of the NDC at this Electoral Commission Greater Accra Regional Office. Dom Kwabenya, Elekule Makurugu was earlier declared as MP-elect on the ticket of the NDC for the Dom Kwabenya constituency with a little over 1,100 vote difference. As against Mike Kokwe Jr., he is at the venue seeking redeclaration. We'll see how things play out. And we've seen a redeclaration done in the absence of the NDC for Okaike Central. Baba Sadiq was earlier declared as MP-elect. Today, that has been overturned for Patrick Yabuama, the incumbent MP, and with the 31 polling station results that were not added earlier. Now, the NDC's position about the 31 is quite clear and known, that there were some discrepancies with that they raised questions about, that the polling station results had the same handwriting, and so they raised some queries about that. Well, the Electoral Commission has gone ahead to add those 31 to the other results now, completing the entire process and putting Patrick Yabuama over 20,000, and then Baba Sadiq some 19,000. But the earlier declaration had Baba Sadiq polling from 15,400 votes, over 15,400, as against Patrick Yabuama, who had over 14,900 votes, that had Baba Sadiq declared as MP-elect on the 9th of December. For Ablekuma North, Erabna Oben of the NDC was declared as MP-elect. But from what we're going to see today, in fact, it may not happen today, as a matter of fact, for Ablekuma North, because the returning officer for the Ablekuma North constituency has indicated that the MPP has brought 25 polling station results, which he has validated, but the NDC is not present to validate, and so he cannot continue with the process. There are 61 polling station results outstanding. 25 have been validated, 37 of them outstanding. But to the extent that the NDC is not present, he's not going to go ahead with the process. For Ablekuma North, we will not, effectively, all things being equal, we may not see any declaration for this because of the position that the returning officer for that constituency has taken. And we're going to be finding out if that position is what should have been the case for all the other constituencies as well, because the NDC is absent at this coalition or recoalition venue for the Electoral Commission, Greater Accra Regional Office. Ebi Bright, the NDC candidate for the Tema Central constituency, was declared MP-elect. That video will just play to you by the Tema West returning officer. And we've explained that circumstance. Well, stay with us because we'll get a quick recall of exactly what happened. Because even though this is a Tema Central, there was a situation that led to the Tema West returning officer declaring Ebi Bright as MP-elect. There is a detail for that we'll give to you. But today, with what has happened, in the absence of the NDC at the regional office of the Electoral Commission, Charles Forson has been declared as MP-elect. We'll tell you exactly why this, the position of the NDC going forward on this. Obuasi East, we've seen another flip of the results. On Obuasi East, on the 9th of December, Samuel Abaji of the NDC was declared MP-elect for the Obuasi East constituency, a little over 18,900 votes. Now, for Patrick Abuaji Yadom, he trailed at the time with just a little over 200 votes difference between them. What happened is that now there's a difference of 19 votes between them in favor of Patrick Abuaji Yadom. Now he has been declared as MP-elect for Obuasi East constituency on the ticket of the NPP. And you will recall that these are not the only constituencies that are at play right now. Apart from Okaikwe Central, Ablekuma, we also saw the Dom Kwabenya constituency and then also Tema Central. And then also, you recall there was Fantiakwa North, where the NDC candidate had already been declared MP-elect. But then there was a same flip 3 days after at the Tesano Police Training School when the Electoral Commission was doing the recollation. So it appears that there's a script that's actually been followed over the period with this. And Kamini Amano, my colleague, is joining me right now in the studio for this conversation. But to the extent that, Kamini, all of these declarations were done in the absence of the NDC, there's a legal reference to that, which we're going to have a conversation on going forward as to whether this would hold, these declarations will hold today, or a further process can be instituted to challenge it. Bear in mind, yesterday, after the courts directed the Electoral Commission to go ahead with this process we're seeing, the NDC went back to court seeking a stay of execution. And so with this what's happening today, does it have any legal basis, or the fact that there's a filing of the stay of execution not hearing, the EC had the right to go ahead with what they're doing right now? We may not be able to get it until we get a loss. Yes.
Indeed, Alfred. That's the conversation we'll have going forward. Thankfully, we have South Dai MP, who is also counsel for Ebi Bright, the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the Tema Central constituency, here with me in the studio. But there is also Ebi Bright herself. Ebi Bright herself, until today, in the last few hours of the afternoon, was MP-elect for Tema Central. Now, she's lost that position to Charles Forson. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to a live coverage of events surrounding the election. Abi, I want to start with you, Abi. You were MP-elect today. You're just a presidential, parliamentary candidate for Tema Central constituency. You left also the collation center because of events you weren't happy with. What happened?
Thank you, Kemeni, and let me use this opportunity to say hello to all our viewers and my constituents in Tema Central. Let me reassure them that I am still MP-elect. I left the sham of recollation center as MP-elect, and I do not recognize the proceedings that have taken place over there. We've watched some of them on TV, but it was important for us to go. And let me use this opportunity also to commend my party, because they've been very proactive and decided about the direction that we should go. I mean, my party believed that even though we have had cause not to appreciate or trust, the processes in court, as has been proven by what happened yesterday as well, we still persist because that is the most legal means open to us, especially when we're dealing with an EC that is obviously an extension or probably even the main MPP party itself. Having said that, they advised that we should go by the stay on execution concerning the recollation and not participate. But we also felt that it was important to test the process that was proposed by the EC, and that is what we did. And as we got there today, it was very obvious that this was the orchestrated script still at play. In fact, on a higher level, because, you know, as they started to execute it at the constituency level, they weren't successful. And so they're persisting, you know, on this journey, and it's very embarrassing. After we left, we've watched on TV what has gone on there and all the declarations, and I must say, is a sham. It's shameful, and there's no way that we acknowledge that. I think that Ghanaians can see that this is a process that cannot be trusted or admitted.
Indeed. Abi, I'm going to come back to us. We'll have a conversation further about events that have taken place today. But Alfred, you're taking us somewhere because there's some declaration coming through. What's happening?
Yes. So the information that we're getting is that the Ahafo Southwest constituency election results for parliamentary has just been declared in favor of the NPP candidate there. So it's 6 out of 6 so far for the NPP. Ahafo Southwest has been added to the list of constituencies declared today. We'll get you the details shortly, but that's the information right now coming through from the Electoral Commission's Greater Accra Regional Office. Ahafo Southwest has just been declared for the MPP. So the MPP parliamentary candidate there for Ahafo Southwest has been declared MP elect. This was a constituency that had no declaration. Absolutely. It was one of the pending, that's in Somadreji, Ahafo Southwest, Ahafo North. Now, what's just happened, Elvis Osei Mensah Dapa, that's the MPP's parliamentary candidate. Elvis Osei Mensah Dapa has just been declared MP elect for Ahafo Southwest. This is in the Ashanti region. Ahafo North as well was declared earlier for the MPP, all in the Ashanti region. But bear in mind, Ahafo Southeast was won by the NDC with no contention. So Ahafo Southeast, one of the constituencies the NDC added to its number of constituencies, won in the Ashanti region as well. In one of these two constituencies, John Mahama won the presidential, right? But now we're seeing the parliamentary declared for the
in
MPP.
favor of the NPP.
So that's, if this has to hold, then it was a skirt and blouse situation, as we find in there. So there are 6 out of the 9 that we're seeing now that have been declared right now in favor of the MPP. That's Nsomadreji, Ahafo Southwest, Ahafo North, Obuasi East, Okaikwe Central, and then Tema Central.
Tema Central, indeed.
That's what's happening.
And
right
so
now.
outstanding, constituencies are Dom Kwabenya,
Ablekuma North constituency,
and
then we also
South.
have Techiman South, and then also these are the 3.
Indeed.
Ablekuma North, Techiman South,
and Dom Kwabenya. I see. Yeah. And we'll keep an eye on the Collation Center, see how events are playing out there. But still here with me, South MP and Abi Bright. Honorable, I want to come to you now. You were seen visibly upset with events that were going on at the Greater Accra Regional Office of the Electoral Commission. Talk to us about why that was the case.
Thank you very much. If you recall, the Metro Director for Elections for Tema Central, a couple of days after the declarations was made in favor of Honorable Abi Bright, I believe Monday, the 9th of December, he sent a long petition citing some instances, fabricated though, because they were completely an afterthought. The video recording of the proceedings of that day are available. Then the video recordings of the declaration for that day are also available. Yet he fabricated stories to his head office and alluded to the fact that based on the things he had listed in his petition, his head office should declare the declaration made in favor of Honorable Abi Bright null and void. So I responded by saying EC had no power to disregard declarations made by its officials after parliamentary elections were over and results collated. So somehow, yesterday, I believe so, or 3 days ago, the court ordered that some constituencies results of some constituencies be recollated. That has always been my position, that when a court orders a thing to be done, that is what we are supposed to do. So, but fortuitously, our party
Very well.
has...
Honorable, I'll let you finish that thought. Another declaration coming through, Alfred.
Techiman South constituency declaration happening right now. Let's cross over live.
Churches, Abu also have 481 voters. If you add them up, you get 1,138 voters in these 2 polling stations. And they have issues. So even looking at the votes for the individual candidates, even if all the 1,138 voters in these 2 polling stations vote for the first runner-up, that is Christopher Basonte Bayere, still Martin Ajay Mensah will still lead him by 2,996 votes. I said there are issues with 2 polling stations, and they are DA Primary School, and they are excluded from the valid votes that are casted. Birmingham has 657 voters. Islamic Churches, Abu also has 481 voters. If you add them up, you get 1,138 voters. And as I said earlier, even if all these voters vote for the first runner-up, that is Christopher Basonte Bayere, still the winner, who is Martin Ajay Mensah, will still lead him by 2,096 votes. With the power vested in me as a returning officer for Techiman South, I therefore declare Martin Ajay Mensah as the MP-elect for Techiman South.
Whoa!
I mean, after the coalition, what are the figures for the candidates in the election?
The candidates had, Martin Ajay Mensah had 46,663. Christopher Bayere Basonte had 43,429. Donko Moses had 1,140 votes. Sorry. Boyon Idris had 76 votes. We had 90,308 valid votes. Then 844 rejected votes. And then we have the total vote cast, 91,152.
So we heard from the returning officer of the Electoral Commission. Let's speak to the parliamentary candidate-elect.
It's been a long journey, but we thank God for His mercies, and we dedicate this victory to His blessings upon us. That's all.
Were you actually expecting this day?
Well, God has always been on my side, so we dedicate it to Him. Prayer.
So you have the MP-elect for the Techiman South constituency, and that's Martin Mensah, and she has been declared the MP-elect of that very constituency. Let me run you through the results, and the total vote cast was 91,152 votes, and the valid vote were 90,308. Rejected ballot was 844. And after the recollation, the entire result, Martin Mensah garnered 46,000. Okay, before that, let's speak to the leader of the MPP caucus in Parliament, Honorable.
No, I won't accept that introduction. Okay. Please, that's agenda.
Okay. Let's speak to the majority leader of Parliament. Okay, so far.
You are still on.
Honorable. Okay, Honorable. So
those things that you did,
You were one of the people who were trying to do the agenda.
Okay, sorry, Honorable. What are the words your words for after this declaration?
Blessings upon us.
I mean, it's been a difficult few weeks. So, majority leader insists that they are going to take a picture.
Well, so let me just run you through the results like I mentioned. So after the recollation of the entire results, the MPP garnered some 46,663 votes and the MPP 43,429. So they had two issues with some polling stations, and the result of these polling stations is 1,138, and these are the voters in that very constituency. And so if they even add these votes to that of the NDC, the MPP will still be leading with some 2,096 votes. And so he has been declared the MP-elect of the constituency, which is Teshiman South. But before this very declaration, the Afar North Southwest constituency was also declared, and the MPP's Elvis Dapar won with some 16,058 votes, and the MDC garnered some 15,372 votes, and so Elvis Dapar has been declared the MP-elect of Afar North Southwest, and the total vote cast in that very constituency was 31,672. So far, all the constituencies that have been declared have gone in the favor of the MPP, and so we are left, let's say, 3 other constituencies whose results are yet to be declared, and let's see if these MPs elect would also be here to be declared winners. And so this is the current happening here. We also brought you exclusive visuals of the exterior part of this coalition center, how the security is manning this very edifice to ensure there's some sort of transparency, law and other to forestall any mayhem that has to be planned here. So this is what it is. I hand you over back to the studios.
George Quenning there for us. So, as you heard there, the Techiman South constituency election results declared for the NPP. Martin Ejay-Mensah Kosa is the incumbent MP, the Minister for Local Government, Rural Development and Decentralization. So, Kemeni, what you're seeing on this magic wall is Homa Dredri gone, Afar North, Southwest on MPP, Afar North MPP, Obuasi East MPP, Okaiko Central MPP, Tema Central MPP, Techiman South MPP. So we have Ablekuma North and Dom Kwabenya left. So 7 out of 7 for the MPP and 2 outstanding. If you look at the details of the results as declared, the returning officer says that there are some polling stations, 2 polling stations that they have issues with the results. The total for those 2 polling stations is 1,138. So if you add that to Christopher Bayire's votes of 43,429, it will still not be up to the 46,633 that Martin Ejay-Mensah Kosa got. That's 46,663. So to that effect, he's gone ahead to declare Ejay-Mensah Kosa as MP-elect. And also with the other candidates who got over 1,140 votes. And then Idris about also 76 votes as well. We saw for the Afuano Southwest, the MPP winning per this redeclaration 16,568, and then the NDC polling 15,378. Effectively, 7 out of 9 for the NPP. But out of the 7, let's also put it out that in Somadreji there was no declaration. So out of the 7, there were 5, in fact 4 of them that had already, 5 that had already been declared. Only
and
2
are now being flipped.
Had not been. All 5, from what we are seeing, 4 of them have been flipped. Right? It's only Ablekuma, in fact, Dom Kwabenya and Ablekuma North. Declarations were made, waiting to be flipped or to be maintained. But with what we are seeing now, the script has followed consistently with the 7 that we have seen declared today. That in places where declarations were made, like Tema Central, Okaiko Central, and Obuasi East, and then also what we saw with Techiman South, those declarations have been overturned.
Indeed.
In favor of the MPP.
Absolutely.
So that's what's happening.
And Alfred, you keep talking about it appears that a script seems to be playing out. I want to take that conversation now to Honorable here, who's still here with me in the studio. What do you think about the results we've just had in Techiman South?
Yes, let me, I was making a point in respect of what happened in Tema Central. So the court ordered that recollation be done, which the court had the power to do. The court could even annul the results and even order for a rerun or any other consequential order. Now, my party is in court. We're actually in the Supreme Court, praying for stay of execution of the order given by the court yesterday. The police had been served. The Electoral Commission has also been served. But I am scandalized to see the police continue to offer protection to the Electoral Commission. I am further scandalized to see the Electoral Commission continue to do or undertake an exercise for which a stay has been filed at the Supreme Court. Any serious lawyer knows that where a stay has been filed for 7 days, it operates as an injunction for 7 days. I mean, as a people, our courts are a court of record. We operate with rules and procedures and conventions. Now, what I am further saddened about is that you have Electoral Commission officers in Electoral Commission apparel, but who are so biased against the NDC.
What do you mean?
This is what I mean. You have a certain Electoral Commission officer called Ofosuhini, who is the Metro Director in Tema. You have petitioned your office that for ABCD reasons, collation that you yourself superintended twice. The original collation was to have taken place in the Chemu Secondary School Assembly Hall. For some reasons, for your own nefarious activities, people reacted and the processes were truncated. The police had to throw in a tear gas to disperse the people.
I see.
Then you directed that we should now, with the support of the police, or with the consent of the police, you directed now that the collation should restart or continue at the Tema Police headquarters, which is close to the airport. On Monday the 9th, we went to assemble. He will not allow his returning officer, Mr. Brobe, to superintend the process. Mr. Brobe, according to CI 127, is the officer who is mandated in law to superintend the collation and declare. He will completely sidestep him, all right, and took over the process. His conduct, again, is on video. I had to resist him nearly every step of the way. Eventually, he refused to declare the results for nearly 3 hours. In his own petition, upon some duress, he directed his colleague to declare. All that became a subject of a certain court order.
Okay.
Now, we got to the Regional Collation Center in Accra today, and the man says that, as for him, he won't do recollation. He wants to continue from where he left off the last time. So I asked him, are you doing this according to your whims and caprices? Because this exercise is in pursuance of a court order and directed at the EC. So if we are all gathered in here because of this, then the appropriate thing to do pursuant to the court order is to do the retabulation afresh. He won't hear any of it. And he's taken such an interim position supported by the NPP. So we made the point that if these were the issues, then will not be part of such an illegality.
Where was the returning officer?
Then again, that's my next point. The returning officer, Mr. Brobe, came this morning, and Mr. Ofosuhini will not allow him to superintend the exercise. I had to demand. Even then, he rejected my request that he would superintend, that Ofosuhini was his junior officer. But I said that Mr. Brobe was his junior officer. I said he may be your junior officer. But where we are, in pursuance of CI 127, it's Mr. Brobe who is mandated to do the collation and declare the results. In any case, you yourself, You wrote to your superiors, your principals in Accra, that the person who made the declaration in favor of Honorable Ebi was not the appropriate officer. So I cannot sit today to allow another inappropriate officer to superintend the process. He was all over the place. So we had to address the media and we left.
Right. So
we are scandalized to hear that they have actually gone ahead to do this declaration and declared Charles Forson for Tema Central. I don't have the authority of my party, but let me say this on my own authority, that this fight is not over. I can assure them. Look, the Electoral Commission has exhibited clearly that it's become a law unto itself. They neither respect court processes nor respect the terms of orders from a court of law. So this matter has become a political problem, and we shall solve it politically.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? On the 7th of January, I'll give you the answer.
I see. Let's take a few steps back, right? When you say that Ofosuhene had reported that there was some form of duress during the declaration, was the nature of duress described?
You should ask him, because you see, the presence under which the Tema Regional Police Command Coalition was done, in fact, it's more amiable, more serene than what we experience today. Today, you have to go through about 3-4 police barricades to enter the premises of the Electoral Commission. Is that not duress? So my client should also cite the heavy presence of the police as duress. When you enter the premises, police are posted everywhere. In the hall where the collation took place, there were over 30 policemen dotted on the corridor and in the hallways. Even the media were driven out. After I addressed the media, Mr. Shribwa came to drive the media out. How could you be doing such a process in the absence of the media?
I think subsequently they were let in.
Thank you very much. But what would have informed a director of electoral services to drive away the media? Because the media is there to ensure transparency and accountability, in fact, proper accountability. This Tema Central seat that has been declared, my dear, the principle that empowers, or the law that empowers the Electoral Commission to reject ballots, when you go and cast your vote ought not to be rejected, isn't it? But there's the law that says that if you don't thumbprint properly in the spaces provided against the name of the contestant, then your ballot will be rejected. Now they argue that we cannot reject a pink sheet, but I'm saying that pink sheet, an invalid pink sheet, can be rejected. And
I want us to look at that a little later. But Alfred, what's happening now?
Yes, so let's go back to the Regional Coalition Center for the Electoral Commission. Alexander Fenyumakin is addressing the press right now.
The court has ruled, and the constitutional body is doing its work. Let's not overstretch the pillars of democracy through our unlawful conduct. Let all of us conduct ourselves peacefully. For me, Dr. Bawumia has set a positive pace for all of us, the political class. The first time in the history of Ghana's elections that a presidential candidate has conceded long before the official declaration. We've never seen this in our history. So for me, that is one thing that we should all emulate. All these things about leading mob to attack vigilantes, attacking collation centers, insulting people and all that, it won't help us as a country. Sometimes, depending on how it goes, somebody will be happy with it. But you know, with time, it may catch up with you yourself who is benefiting from it today. So I would want to urge my colleagues in the NDC. We are all one family. We are a family. In Parliament, we don't fight. We all debate on issues. When we finish, we go and sit at the coffee area, eat together. Sometimes I wish the cameras would come and capture us there. where we buy food for one another, we eat together, we don't even find out whose food it is. Perhaps Ghanaians don't know that as a political class we are one. But at the same time, we should not create a certain impression to our followers that would lead them to be lawless. So let us all accept the process, encourage the electoral body to do its work, so that at the end of the day, democracy will win. Okay. There are times that we are not happy with certain decisions in Parliament, but that is democracy. Mr. Speaker makes determination. You would have to accept. If you disagree, you express it and you move on. So I would congratulate all my 7 colleagues who have won and wish them well. We are going to meet in Parliament. We are now in opposition. We had 82 seats previously declared officially. These 7 adding to make us 89. We have Domiko Abenya pending. We have Ablekuma not pending. We are hoping that the processes will be followed so that we know the final outcome and then we can count our numbers. If the 2 go for us, hallelujah, it brings us to 91. If we don't get the 2, we know we have 89. We'll move on. After all, in the 1996 elections, this MPP had 61 seats only from the 200-member chamber. And that 1997 group, as determined as they were, as formidable as they were able to win us power in 2000. So for me, as a leader of government and business, leading my troops, I'm not perturbed at all with this defeat. It's a moment for us to reflect. Politics, there are bad times and there are good times. Today you win, tomorrow you lose. Tomorrow you lose, the next day you win. So we accept it, go into introspection, introspect, look at areas that we went wrong. The party itself will take a decision. National Council, I'm sure, will commission a body to investigate the causes of our loss. When the report comes, I'm sure the recommendations will be implemented and we'll take it up from there. After all, the NDC lost in 2000. The first time of losing power, they didn't give up. They regrouped, they reorganized, to the extent that Mr. E.T. Mensah of blessed memory came all the way, walked to the MPP headquarters at Kokomemle and asked for a copy of our constitution and used that as a model to enact a new NDC constitution. What a beauty of democracy. Through that reforms, you remember NDC those days, they had a co-chair. They didn't have a national chairman. And they did reforms. By 2004, they came in strongly. They were able to even reclaim some of the seats we are taking from them in 2000. For instance, Ashama's seat was ours. Was theirs, we took it. They took it back. Dadi Kotopon, they took that seat back. And some other seats. Fast forward, 2008, they were able to now win back power. And President Mills of blessed memory took power. Then we also went into opposition. 2012, it was give and take. We landed in court. Eventually, the court ruled, and we learned our lessons. That was when this issue of pink sheet came to the fore, that we must pay attention to the pink sheet. Through that, the outcome of the court proceedings and the judgment the court delivered, we read the court judgment, learned our lessons, and in 2016, the rule of the game was protect the pink sheet. Through that, we won 169 seats in Parliament and won massively for President Akufo-Addo, almost 1 million votes, which was also very unprecedented. Because if you compare what President Akufo-Addo had to what President Mahama had in 2012, President Mahama had won with barely 300,000 votes. And we winning with almost 1 million votes was very monumental, very huge. It had never happened before. But fast forward, by 2020, we slipped. We lost a lot of our seats, and it became 137, 137. It was only a single seat, the Formina seat, that gave us a single majority. Come 2024, we've been dealt with. We've seen our smoothness level. agree with that. Of course, the reality must be accepted. That is when you can make reforms. If you don't bring a closure to a situation, you will continue to be in depression perpetually. In every situation, accept.
Okay, sir.
And after accepting it, you can then move on and make changes. Therefore, I believe that with our current status in Parliament going into 2025, we would be very formidable, will be determined, act collective, and ensure that all the mistakes are corrected, rebrand our party, and make it attractive, and give hope to Ghanaians. We know we did so well. However, the people of Ghana have marked the script, and they say, go home. We'll do that, and I'm sure that come 2028, we'll make it. But we've
had some party members saying that.
Alexander Penyomakin, majority leader in this 8th parliament, there with the media. Well, so Kemeni, there you have it. He does some mathematics, right? That is, if the declarations today, we understand the NDC is going to challenge it. And because of the state of execution already applied for or in motion. He says 89 for them. Initially 82, they're adding the 7 seats declared for the MPP today, 89. That effectively then will reduce the NDC's margins to 183 as against MPP's 89 with the 4 independent candidates as well. Awaiting the declarations of Dom Kwabenya and Ablekuma North. Yeah.
I see. Let's take the events we've just seen to our guest here in the studio. Honorable, I'll start with you. You heard the majority leader and how he responded to the 7 declarations made for them.
I heard him. I heard some fabrications. E.T. Mensah is not alive today. So who told him that E.T. Mensah walked to MPP office to collect their constitution? We as an NDC were established before the MPP. So some of these lies, Apenyo should stop this conduct. Fabricating stories to spice his press conferences. He should stop. Today he's telling us that we should take the defeat in good faith and go and cool down. When he lost, did he cool down? He went to bring Fantiakwa North from Eastern region to Tesano and got it declared for him with a police motorcade. Today he has maneuvered and got 7 out of 7.
Oh, but they were re-declaration.
Please.
Okay.
When the matter is in court, don't you respect the court process? Today, Apenyo is granting a press conference, giving praises to an outcome of exercises that are subject before the Supreme Court. And he's telling me, that I should take it in good faith. And that we are brothers. We are not brothers, Apenyo. We are not. We are playing politics with everything. And we shall play politics with you. And I want to tell him that, you see, when he favors the NDC, the MPP, they are all smiles. When he doesn't favor them, they concoct all manner of tactics to get the matter reversed. In fact, the Electoral Commission, the one Samuel Tete had some days ago, and then the one Jemensa had about 3 days ago, they should have told us plainly that, look, as a commission, we have decided that we'll reverse all the declarations in favor of the NPP. Then we would have known. Because what has gone on, so total charade. Total charade. It's a slap in the face of the law. It's a slap in the face of the law such that when you have a matter you proceed to court, forget it. That's what they are telling us. That they will use executive power to achieve whatever they want. But I want to tell them, they may be in government, but they are no longer in power. Because the power has left them.
But 7th January is 2 weeks away.
Please, they are in government, but they are no longer in power.
Well, then what does that mean?
The power is now in transition onto us. And when we get the power, will show them where power lies.
You are threatening them.
I have to threaten.
Why?
Because threat is part of politics. That is what Afenyo did. Afenyo got Damungo, they got Damungo declared in a very chaotic manner. The Electoral Commission has accepted it. They got Karaga declared in a very chaotic manner. Electoral Commission has accepted it as regular. They declared Tolong in a very chaotic manner. Electoral Commission has accepted it. They declared Pandai. I'll send you the Pandai video. Very terrible. Electoral Commission has accepted it. They want to bring Fantiakwa North from Eastern Region to Tesano, got it declared. Electoral Commission says that is regular. Declaration made by a different officer. Electoral Commission says is regular. But all the other declarations made that favor the NDC today, they have all been overturned. So the Electoral Commission itself has become a referee in this matter. It's no longer a referee in this matter. It's become a participant.
A player in this issue.
And a player. And is supporting one side against us. We will, by all means, as a trained lawyer, will deal with the court processes. But me, as the NDC elected member of parliament, I will advise my people that this matter is no longer a matter for judicial review or judicial resolution.
So the courts can solve it?
It's a political matter. And we have to solve it politically.
I'll come back to you on that. Let me go
and I'm insisting on that.
Very well. Let me go to Ebi Bright now. Ebi, the Electoral Commission on the matter of duress for Tema Central said party supporters invaded the collation center and manhandled the district electoral officer, the returning officer, and the election officials. The mob attacked the policemen at the entrance of the collation center and destroyed property, including ballot boxes, voting screens, windows, and doors. Then the last one, the second attempt to collate results on the 9th of December, saw party supporters besiege the collation center and threatened the district electoral officer. In the process, the Tema West district electoral officer, who is not the officer in charge of Tema Central, was forced to declare the results using 146 polling stations out of 148. These things happened, didn't they?
They did not. Kemeni, the interesting thing is that all of these processes were covered extensively by your media house and other media houses. So it really doesn't even need to be our word against theirs. These are pure fabrications. And so, I really am very tired of responding to, I think that they're setting an agenda for us that they expect that we follow. This is very shameful. You see, it's sad to see these kinds of people in leadership. I was just listening to one of them right now, just before you came back to us. And I'm like, Ghanaians just spoke to them very clearly. Just on 7th, from 7th, December, the language was very clear that this is not acceptable to us. So I'm wondering when they'll get the message that this is not the way. And they're so inconsiderate of the ordinary Ghanaian. The kind of thing that they're doing now, especially including what is going on today, imagine if we allowed the anger that is boiling and bubbling up in the ordinary Ghanaian to spill over onto them. So I think that the NDC must be commended for going out of our way to stay our supporters who believe in us and trust us for leadership. Our job has actually been to hold them off, because these people might appear like they deserve a response. Look at the kind of things that they're perpetuating in the name of God. And then you're wondering if they really believe that there are no repercussions. There's something very interesting about this situation. You know how they say that the elections are won at the polling station. But I dare say that through this process, we realize that that's another point of fallacy. You can win your elections at the polling stations, but the MPP has just told us that as far as pink sheets are concerned, they studied how to steal with pink sheets. I think this election has introduced a new level of threat for us, that the EC, once they're colluding with the MPP, will not allow the truth on the face of the pink sheet. So that's another thing for us to look at. He also said you should accept every situation. Accept every situation, or only your situation. Because we, myself, along with 4 others, were declared. You didn't accept it and follow the recommended route for redress. You've gone to all this trouble, including embarrassing yourself, because Ghanaians can see clearly these people have no honor. And to think that this is leadership, I hope that the NDC is listening to a character like himself, calling us brothers and talking about sharing food with us. This is coming from a party of liars, thieves, and killers. They've killed and maimed ordinary, innocent Ghanaians in their quest for power. They've poisoned each other and talking about the Yayawaso West and other situations. And all the people that have died for elections. And this is what the NDC refuses to do with Ghanaian lives. Because you see what is going on right now.
I can understand that those people died in the election. Those people were at the coalition centers when the deaths occurred. But you're blaming directly the NPP for causing the death.
Yes, I am.
But we don't have evidence of that.
No, we do have
orchestrated that.
We do have evidence because under their directions, the kind of force that was applied to result in those situations were applied. They orchestrated situations like that were so toxic that people will come out and express their disgust at the conditions, and they will respond with force. And that's why I'm saying that NDC should be commended, because you know how many people are ready to come out of their homes and protest against this, and fight and protest against what is going on right now. But the position of my party is that everybody should stand down, including the fact that as a candidate and my lawyer, we walked into the coalition center practically naked of any kind of protection or support into the situation that you witnessed with your own cameras. So this is what I'm saying. This is a difference in leadership. So if you ask somebody who is speaking in the name of God, and is obviously somebody who will orchestrate, who would lie, will steal, and somebody who will deceive just to get their own way, because you say you're inconsistent in your speech at every turn. These are people that have no regard either for human life, have no regard for the law, have no regard for anything that is natural. And so I will advise Ghanaians. I mean, I think that they're already aware that these are people that cannot be trusted, but I'll advise my party also to be wary and look at how to protect us beyond this point, especially in Parliament. And, I think at this point, I'm not so worried about the situation, because I believe that we will still prevail. As Honorable Dafiamepo has indicated, we haven't exhausted all avenues yet, and there should be at least something of integrity that holds out in this country against all of this tyranny. So we're sure that by the time we get to the end of the matter, there will be clarity. But like you put it earlier, this is a script playing out, and I don't think that we expected any different. We're not sitting here because we're surprised. We're sitting here to guide all of us through the process of what we saw happening and is happening. But we'll also like to use the opportunity to put them on notice that we will not roll over. We will make decisions that protect human life and Ghanaians in general. We're concerned about keeping Ghana as a whole. But the survival of Ghana requires that elements like you are purged out of the system in leadership, because we cannot afford to go in this direction.
Are you referring to the majority leader when you say that?
Yes, him and his ilk of thieves and connivers and forgers.
You can't call them that.
I'm doing that based on the evidence that we're dealing with right now. Because
but we can't associate with that.
Well, no, we have
as a brand.
Right. You cannot, but I can. Because you've seen declarations made for us, and you're being asked not to accept that, but to accept theirs, which is in clear violation of the law, when our processes were legal. And the same person says, whatever the situation is, please accept it in the name of God. Yeah. And I can call this person a liar, a trickster, and somebody, whatever it is. But
Ghana, the Lord's name in vain.
Exactly. And that is even what I fear most. But obviously, these people have gotten away with it to a certain point. What is happening to their side right now should be an indication that if they push much further, they might get a response that they still haven't fathomed. But we'll leave it there for now. I just like to say, I have confidence in the ability of my party and all of us to go through processes that will protect Ghanaian lives, but will still achieve the intended result.
So Abi, yes. in the first declaration, it was done using the results of 146 polling stations, which means there were 2 left.
Yes.
Is there a chance that now that the 2 have been added, that the results could have been flipped?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Let
me answer that.
Okay.
Yes. These 2 pink sheets were fabricated. The contents of the originals with the EC officers were markedly different from the contents of the duplicates that were originally given at the polling stations after the close of poll. The originals now bears names, signatures, year of election, time that the polls closed. The duplicates did not. Figures were different. So if you don't resist such a forged document, it will go against you. As a trained lawyer, I cannot accept that. It's a fabricated evidence. The evidence is not credible. All right? But the MPP insists that should be added. The AC insists that should be added in favor of the MPP. The figures on it favor the MPP candidate. That is why today they claim that they're beating her by 55 votes. When the Monday declaration put her around 240-something votes.
241 above
Thank
them.
You understand? So, but for those 2 fabricated pink sheets, she's in the clear.
And you notice the fabrication on the first declaration or collation because the dates and numbers were not the same as the original.
You see, a duplicate must be a replica of the original.
Yes.
So where you have an original, the content of which are not reflected on your duplicate, then there's a fabrication.
Okay, so what I'm trying to understand
is... Let me explain. So to the extent that we compelled Ofosuhini, the Metro Director, to invite one of his presiding officers, and they are called presiding officers, in respect of one of those pink sheets to come. When he came, the man came to admit that, oh yes, I completed these pink sheets in the office after the close of polls. 2 of them. After the close of polls. Why? Because when we closed at 5 and we did the tabulations and announced the results, we were tired. So when I came to the office that I was reminded to complete the pink sheets. That story is also another concussion, because clearly they have sat down to fabricate the pink sheet and insert figures that will favor the MPP candidate.
I dare say.
Okay.
Let me use the
I'll come back to you. Let me hear AB out.
Okay.
Let me use the opportunity to point out that, interestingly, there was no name and signature or anything like that on our pink sheets.
On the duplicates.
On the duplicates. So therefore, you have no way of even proving that was the original. The officer. Yeah. In the first place. Now you've produced an officer who comes with an excuse. But we're not obliged to accept that, because we don't even know where those sheets came from that you've given us. Okay? So, and that happened in three places. And for those 2, this were the excuses. So we refuse to admit, those 2.
In fact, originally, there were 18.
There were
18 with issues. So we were totals were not done. So we agreed that okay, this ones,
for some of them,
they are
the
not
figures
material.
didn't match, but they weren't different from the originals that they had.
Okay.
So we'll discuss and reach a consensus. But on these 2, it was obvious that the fabrication was just too real. And then there's an admission that these were completed without representation, without our agents. Not to talk of the fact that on these 2 sheets even, we could not authenticate that these were our agents' signatures. So these were very real issues that we weren't going to agree to. But in our case, all our pink sheets were considered. All from the 148 were considered. 2 were rejected based on these reasons after we had conceded on 16. Okay, but the interesting thing about fabrications and stuff like that is done to favor a certain candidate. So when you try to foist it, when you ask, will it affect the result? Of course it will. And we're very sure that this was done extensively. But if they've done a clean job, then you really have no way of saying for sure that this is what happened. Right. But for these 2, there's no way around it. They didn't pass muster under any logical,
right. And today
explanation.
You didn't even have the chance also today to raise those objections because...
No, we didn't. And that's the interesting thing. If you look at most of these seats that are being flipped, it is where they have departed from the norm of collation. So, for example, in my seat and Baba Sadiq's seat for, as examples, the returning officers refused to partake in this process or were prevented from partaking in this process. So, for example, Tema Central, that was one of the main issues with the first collation. But we agreed if the Metro director decided that he was the senior officer and decided to relieve the returning officer of his duty to collate and declare, no problem. So he got the returning officer sat there quietly without any involvement in the process and took charge of the process. After which, under supposed duress, you appointed someone else to declare the results on your behalf. Now, these were all decisions that you made. And I'm saying if there was duress, we would have forced you to declare the results. In any case, today, after he himself had complained, and one of the trending issues with Tema Central was that the person who handled the process and did the declaration was not the returning officer. So today I said my first condition, before my lawyer starts to speak about whether the court order is being, complied with or not, is that the returning officer whose duty it is to manage the process must be in charge. If you notice in the case of Aplikuma North, that is why he was able to express the decision that without the parties' participation, he was not going to go ahead with collation. These are the rights of the returning officer. Now, again, this same person who contrived the first situation is sitting in the chair and making the decision that he is going to handle the process today. And we said, but what happens to your RO who is present here? Why don't you stay out of the process and allow the RO to do his job? And this he refused to do. And that's one of the issues that we were arguing about. I'm sure that your camera has captured that. And then the issues that my lawyer has raised after. Interestingly, I think that immediately we left, we hear, and we watched on TV as well, the RO for Tema Central also, just like Aplikuma North did,
had threats from
indicated that he had threats on his family and his children and all of that from the MPP. And so he was going to recuse himself from the process.
Also because we were not there.
Also because we were not there. But bear in mind, this guy is being sat and prevented from doing his job from day one. I think that my colleague Baba Sadiq has, a similar issue.
Indeed, he does.
In addition to the outstanding pink sheets.
Indeed. In a bit, we'll go to Alfred, and Alfred will take on that conversation with Baba Sadiq. Baba Sadiq is here with us in the studio. Remember that in the original declaration, Baba Sadiq was declared winner of the Okankwe Central contest. However, in today's declaration, he's lost that seat to the incumbent Patrick Boama. Alfred.
Well, that's exactly what is happening now. In fact, the earlier declaration had Baba Sadiq polling over 15,400 votes thereabout. And then the incumbent MP Patrick Boama trailing with some 14,900 votes and over. That was without the 31 polling stations. And this Okankwe Central constituency we're talking about has 141 polling stations. That declaration earlier was done with 110 polling station results. Now, there's been some explanation as to why the 31 polling station results were not added to the previous declaration. And the man to speak to it is here with us. Baba Sadiq, it's good to have you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So per the declaration we are seeing right now, 21,099 in favor of Patrick Boama and 19,368 for you.
Yes.
Now, this is within 31 polling station results that were earlier contested. Why was it not added in the first instance?
In fact, I mean, on the day when we met last week, we noticed that when we did the entire polling station by polling station, we noticed that some of the polling stations, they had swapped our figures with that of the MPP candidates.
They swapped the figures?
They swapped it. So you take a pink sheet, you realize that every other detail on the pink sheet is right, But when you get to the actual, where the number and the words are, you will notice that where we are truly gotten a bigger number, that is given to the MPP candidate, and then his less number is given to us. And that was strange. You know, so last week when we sat and we're doing the collation, we began to notice these things. And by the time we're done, we had noticed about 31 of the polling stations where such things had happened.
They swapped your
Where they swapped our results with his result. So in a particular polling station, for instance, where we got 266 and then he had 192, they gave the 192 to on their pink sheet. They gave the 192 to us and gave the 266 to him. But on our pink sheet, we had the 266 and then he had the 192. So our argument to them was that, look, we don't manufacture these pink sheets. These pink sheets are copies of what you give to us. You know, and so if you've given us pink sheets, and they looked at the pink sheet, they examined it. There was nothing wrong with that particular pink sheet. The pink sheet that we had. You know, now if the 31 pink sheets that we have, if you collate the numbers that we have, the ones that we have, we would have been leading party. We would have gotten our 52.92% of the total vote that had been casted. But when you switch the figures, which is consistent with the pink sheets they're working with today, then you would have the figure that is having today, which is again even different from what he had projected. This is about a third or fourth figure that you know from what he had projected that he had won. This is totally even different.
I see.
You know, and so that was the point that we're making to them today. When we got there, the first thing we checked and we realized that the returning officers had declined to be part of it. If you look at what was happening,
so Central returning officer,
the same thing
was not
part of it. So then they had said that there was a deputy returning officer. Then we questioned. He doesn't. What shows that he has an authority or mandate to actually be the returning officer, because the original returning officer should be the one actually returning this particular election results as well. Then they explained that this morning, today, he had been appointed as returning officer. Then I demanded from the original returning officer that what shows that he's actually been appointed. They said they have a letter. They want to show it to us. I said, no, I need a copy of it. So in actual fact, my first condition was that before that proceeds, in actual fact, they need to produce a letter indicating that this person is mandated and authorized to actually continue with the
Did you ever get the letter?
They didn't. She just showed it to me. I said, no, I cannot take what is actually on the phone. You need to give us a copy. Then the second aspect of it was that, well, by the time we had gotten there, they had started and said that they are through with about 24 of it. Then we started to raise the objections to it. Then one of the officers came in, and senior officers, the deputy regional officer who had come in with what they call it, a finger marking this morning, who had come in with him, so said that, okay, well, let's begin to lead. Then we pointed out to them and said, look, last week when we came, there was a challenge. The challenge we noticed was that some of the master pink sheet that you brought to us, the numbers are different. The numbers have been swapped. What do we do when such scenarios play out in this particular instance? Then there was a stalemate. So we said to them that we need to actually find out a way on how to deal with this, because it would then show that it is criminal. Numbers were forged, numbers were cooked for the MPP candidate. And in actual fact, Patrick Abouama knows deep within himself he didn't win this election. If Patrick Abouama is actually winning elections in the Kaikwe Central, he wins with a margin of about 9,800. If he's having to hold on to 1,200, 1,700, he knows deep within himself he didn't win this particular election.
He knows deep within himself.
He knows it. Look, his demeanor from last week, his approach from last week, and this is last week when we met during the collation. His agents had been clear. This was captured live on TV3 that they didn't have pink sheet. In fact, they said that their pink sheet was collected, they were beaten and it was collected from them. Now, today, and to that point, Otokuno actually even shot back and asked them that if indeed your pink sheet you've been beaten, pink sheet had been collected from you, did you report to the police? They didn't report to the police. Today, rather interestingly, for just one of the polling stations, they produced a pink sheet which they were hideous about. Then subsequently, we said to them that, okay, in the first instance, you have said that the MPP should produce their pink sheet so they can do the comparisons. Okay, subsequently, when we go in, let's see the pink sheet from the MPP. The MP was sitting down there and telling them, now they should carry on. They should carry on. They didn't produce it. They searched, they didn't find it. And then, almost as if they were singing in unison, the voice and the narrative of the MPP was the same as the ECs. Almost like, oh, go ahead, they are doing their job. They've asked they are going to work with their original pink sheet. But we have said to them that, look, we're not going to prevent you from working with your original pink sheet, but we have challenges with it. Where your numbers are totally different, or where the numbers have been swapped, what then do you do with it? Because these pink sheets are your products. These are not my product. These are copies of master pink sheets that you gave to us. This is what you gave to us. This is what we worked with. In that instance, what do we do? Because quite clearly, forgery had happened. Quite clearly, some criminal activities had happened related to the numbers. So numbers had been forged and cooked. In that regard, we cannot accept this. You know, so then they tried to look. Almost all the officers that came in, when they looked at it, they were confused. They looked at the pink sheets. They were confused. They were dumbfounded. They just didn't know what to do. Only but for them to say that, oh, they are just going to carry on because the instruction is that they should proceed with their master pink sheets. So I said, okay, so what do we do with the pink sheet that you've given to us? That shows that we've actually won. You know, but quite clearly,
the EC officials came today.
They came today to just to be able to, with the mindset of taking the nice. And look, from the morning when we saw the first thing I made, when I saw the film marking, for instance, I questioned it after, what is he doing here when you've asked some senior members of our party, or what is he doing here when people are not here, when there's nobody here? When you are not even allowing certain people.
Plus 2 agents.
Yes. So what is he doing here in the first place? But he comes in here. He goes in to meet the original. He comes here. He goes in to meet the original. What do you call it? Election officers. They come in. They get engaged in their pollution, and he stands in there, almost pressurizing them and telling them what to do, pointing to them what to do. Your cameras were there. See him all over the place. In most of the declarations, you could see him actually standing there with his hand, almost trying to prep them up for them to do what they want to do. And this is not right. Look, the people of Kaiku Central have decided. The people of Kaiku Central they rarely speak. In the last 2 election cycles, you could see that what they had said. In this particular election, if you look at polling station by polling station, there were polling stations that, if you take it out, polling station by polling station, and asking with everybody with all the evidence, you would see. There are a string of polling stations, for instance, that we do not win. Original ward, right behind the Abeka Market. This has been a safe polling station that Patrobama wins. These are 6 polling stations, right? We won 5 out of them. 5 out of them. Everybody, pictures, videos, everything shows that we won that 5 polling stations. Today, the details that they have at the EC shows that he had won 3 out of the polling stations. How? Again, in the polling station, there are polling stations called the Restoration Police Station near the Jacob School. These are 7 polling stations. We want all these polling stations. Everybody that was there sees. We had the pink sheet. It was there. The jubilation was right. You could see the numbers and everything. Today, out of the 7 polling stations, they are telling us he won 4 out of that polling stations. How is that possible? How is that possible?
So the normal picture is that when there's a coalition going on, you, the MPP candidate, the NDC candidate, the polling station, that's your pink sheet results should tell you what the EC has.
Right.
Yes, because you have a duplicate.
Because that's a duplicate.
The MPP also has a duplicate. But in the Kaiku Central situation, you had a duplicate.
Right.
And the Electoral Commission's original so-called did not have the duplicate figures that you had.
Exactly, it didn't have that.
And the MPP didn't have their pink
sheets. The MPP didn't have their pink sheets.
And the declaration was made.
It was still made.
I see. Anyway.
Yeah. But you know, Alfred, interestingly,
WeekendCentral. Yes, I just wanted to...
It's one of those areas that the Electoral Commission did not make any comments about how the collation and declaration was done. Remember, they released a statement telling us the problems that went on in all of the contested areas. Okankwe Central is not one of those where they said somebody was put under duress or the processes were not followed. So the question then will be to the Electoral Commission, why are we going through this? On what basis is Okankwe Central going through
the basic questions so that our viewers can understand the process that takes place at the collation center. The Electoral Commission has a master copy of the pink sheet.
Right.
And the parties have, or the candidates have duplicates of what's supposed to be the master copy of the electoral.
Supposed to be the original.
And the duplicates must contain the same figures and everything as the
replica of the original.
Exactly. So that's what you call the carbon copy.
The carbon copy.
Right? Now in this situation, the carbon copy has different figures from what the so-called original should have.
Yes.
Yeah, but the other party doesn't have any carbon copy.
And the MPP that didn't
have the and normally when it happens like that, it will be favoring the MPP.
Yes.
And it's been playing out in almost all the constituencies.
To steal, you must steal to favor you. That's why you are stealing.
Because the EC
but if a party doesn't have his duplicate, or carbon copy, should that not be to the disadvantage instead?
No, that is why I told you that
Not when
EC
the EC
officials,
decides.
you see EC officials in EC jackets, but they are working for the MPP.
Okay, look at this Okakwe Central constituency. Baba Sadiq made a comment about the margin of votes victory for Patrick Yabuama. Let's take it from 2016. He started in 2012. Well, let's go from 2016. 2016, he won with, in fact, over 11,000 votes.
In fact, it would be good if you start from 2012.
No,
it gives you,
started from 2012.
It gives you the decline.
I'll show you. From 2016, 11,000 votes difference between him and the NDC candidate then. 2020, he won with 9,000, just about 9,000.
9,300 plus.
But here in 2024, we're seeing just about 1,000
something.
Yeah, 1,030. That's a little over 1,000 votes.
Put that on for Thomas.
Right? So this is just to buttress the point that Baba Sadiq makes about the trend in terms of the margins of victory. But if you look at 2012, just for the benefit of the analysis as well, we'll get into 2012 shortly. But look at this. In 2012, this was the results for parliamentary in Okakwe Central in the Greater Accra region. Quickly for parliamentary in 2012. Yeah, we'll pull that up shortly so that we'll get the analysis going on it. But while we are at it, you indicate that per the declaration today, it clearly raises fundamental questions about procedure.
Exactly.
What are you going to do next?
Well, for me, I mean, we're still conferring with leaders of the party regarding what the next line of actions would be. We had indicated strongly from the onset that we, on the basis of the pink sheets that was given to us by the by the EC, know that we have won the seat. It's factual. The numbers actually shows it. We brought all our pink sheet. In fact, I actually came with all the pink sheet. I came with all my pink sheet here, you know, because I've always made the point that at any point on any forum where the pink sheet would have to be examined and analyzed, it will show that we duly won the Okakwe Central seat. So we're still conferring with our leadership as a party. I'm sure that in the next few hours, in the next few days, whatever we'll do will be duly communicated. But like I said, this is unacceptable. This is not something that we are going to accept. The people of Okakwe Central have decided, polling station by polling station, they've indicated who their choice is. When you go to look, this is and you know the funny thing, this particular result actually mirrors the assembly elections. We won in 4 electoral areas out of 5.
Same in
4 electoral areas out of 5.
I see.
How does, and even in the electoral area where he had won, we had about 48%. In Apenkwa, for instance, we had about Apenkwa electoral area, we had about 48% of the vote. And you could see from his demeanor and he himself, when he had come in there, and we're pointing it out to him. Look, the guy knew he had lost. He from, you know, even for when we're questioning, when we're going back and forth with the EC and everything, he was just prepping his guys not to even respond to any queries about bringing even or pulling up the pink sheet. So when they looked, they didn't have any pink sheet, and he asked them to move on. He knew from all his demeanor that
on the day of the declaration that you were declared as MP-elect, and confirm this if the information we got was right, that some pink sheets were presented by the Electoral Commission that had the same handwriting, same signature. Did that happen?
Come again on that particular one. What do you want to
the 31 pink sheets.
Yes.
At the time that it was disputed.
Yes.
Did it have some handwriting that was same and the signatures same?
Yeah. So what we noticed was that some of the master pink sheets, you will notice when you look at our pink sheet, the handwriting corresponds with some details of the
returning officer.
The pink sheet, the pink sheet that they presented, right? But where it comes to the numbers, where the numbers are, the handwriting is clearly different. When you look, when you examine it, the handwriting is different.
You had the same thing at all?
Yes, the handwriting on the pink sheet that they presented is different.
So one person was filling them.
So you will see that one person was filling all the other parts, and then somebody came to fill, somebody came to complete it.
Which shouldn't be the case,
because
they are from different polling stations.
Yes,
exactly.
But in our case, that's one of the reasons why we stood down on a lot of those was that we're just trying to get past. Because like I said, there's consideration for all the people milling outside. So you see, okay, you know, worst case scenario, we win anyway. So this is how we made our decisions, and some of these things are subjective by arguments. So you know, you can tell that these have been fabricated, but to what extent? If the copy is done properly and the arguments, the fact that as long as it was filled, you know, in situ, it's okay. Sometimes we stand out on that, and that's why we indicated that we started from as many as 18. So a lot of these things we had seen in our case as well. But that's why I said you accept only so much. The point was that, okay, your win is being stolen. But can they get away with it completely? You know, if they can't, then stand down and let us move along. But you get to a point where, obviously, the person is asking you to play dead. While some process passes, you know, over your head. And that, we felt was way too insulting. You see, in TV3, for example, we won. In fact, areas, they're strongholds. And that's where the jubilation started. At every polling center, and on an average of 30% above my opponent, we were winning from what we collated as far as polling station and polling center reports were concerned. And then you get down now and then you see, I'm sure that you have footage and audios of the fact that I had to fight my own collation table before we progressed to fighting at yes, because you have a situation where we have pink sheets at my party level and they're disappearing and reappearing different. And then you have to try and start to see, yes, so all of these things, I dare say that most of these things are not possible completely without some collusion from the inside. But that is our own burden to carry as a party. You understand? And we'll deal with all of that. But the important thing is, you know, I can have issues in my house, but it doesn't mean that you come in and rub me blind. As far as we're concerned, we're not going to allow them to get away with the TV. Whoever we need to discipline is our business. But for you, as long as we've caught it, if we didn't see those that have passed over our heads, fine. Those that we've conceded to, fine. But there's some that just beg common sense and logic, and we're not going to fall for those ones.
But was the process restarted in your case in terms of the collation? Was the collation done again from scratch, or you just continued from where you left off?
That's for today or when we met last week?
No, today.
No, what was in contention was the 31 polling stations. Okay. You know, so when we had come in, one of
the key issues for me today
was that they didn't start from the top.
No, the court ordered recollation. Recollation means retabulating
everything from the top.
Thank you.
Start again.
But you know, because it will show. Look, one of the interesting things was that today, what was very funny is that there's a particular group of polling stations called CPC in Fadama Ogbemowo electoral area, CPC. At CPC, 3 polling stations, we had won in all those polling stations. Today it shows that he had won in all those polling stations. And it's shocking and scandalizing even for the people that are in the CPC part.
So the people who
they are shocked. How is it possible that CPC, that we sat, we filmed, have videos that we had won in these polling stations, 3 polling stations, and then today it shows that Patrick Yaboma had won in those polling stations. How is this possible?
That is why the law requires in Regulation 39(3) thereabout. Okay, that after the presiding officer has done all this and given duplicates to agents and they are gone, paste a copy at the vantage point at the polling station. So every election is local. So the people who cast their votes at that locality knew who emerged the winner. So when you move ballot boxes from Fantiakon and bring them to Tesano and come and declare for another person, they are aggrieved in that locality. When you move Fadama to reach and declare for another person, the Fadama people will be aggrieved. These are the matters confronting us. When you move, what's this your place? It's a very popular one where you feed the people.
The Tuobodom.
When you move,
Community 12.
the police station results from Tuobodom. Area. With a picture, come and declare
the Valco flat area.
No. Tuobodom is very close to the motorway.
The Valco electoral area is
around Committee 12. When you come and declare to reach, that is for Charles Forson who has won. The people in Tuobodom are angry.
Yes.
Because their mandate has been stolen clearly
and
by the connivance of EC officers.
By the way,
this will not be happening if EC officers are neutral. If they are neutral, these things won't be happening.
Interestingly, if you have
because
a center,
see through.
If you have a center with up to 10 polling stations, those polling stations with these forgeries, the results have been either torn off, singled out and torn off the walls, or were never pasted at all.
I see.
Yes.
So these are for us, the good thing we did was to ensure that by 10 p.m. on the night of elections, we had all our pink sheets. That was one of the good things that we had.
Well,
we had all our pink sheets in, and we had done our collations. This explains why by 12 or 1 a.m. on the night or the morning of the elections, we had known and projected that. We had won the elections. And in fact, look, there are even certain parts. When you go to, there's a place we call Vuga Quarters, right? Big Quarters. They mostly vote in Restoration or votes at Church of Christ. In all those places as well. Usually, in the last few elections, you realize that it's been scattered blast in those places. This time around, they made sure that we won in all those places as well. So this is these people on the ground. They know. You go to Vuga, you go to Wayaman, you go to La Paz Police Post. We usually do not win in La Paz Police Post. 4 police stations, we had 1 and 2.
And let me make this point. We've also discovered that, look, the pink sheets, the EC officials, some have duplicate copies.
Of the pink sheets?
Of the pink sheets. So they have originals of the original.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I see.
So this explains the varying figures.
They have multiple.
This explains the varying figures.
That's why when
hang on.
they were able to
hang on. Let's understand this.
Yes.
So they have multiple pink sheets.
Thank you.
Of the same.
So they're able to fabricate so that you are.
Yeah,
if you are not smart.
Okay, good.
If you are not smart, you can't tell with the serial numbers.
Okay.
But if you are smart, you can get them.
So the serial numbers.
It happened in our case. We're able to prove that. We're able to prove that even your cameras captured it. So you realize that in the polling centers where we agreed that adjustments should be made, in the presence of all the parties, they were able to reproduce the same pink sheets for us, and then we all accepted. But this is a case where their fabrications reflected what we had as our own copies. So if they were missing some details, we decided if we were going to agree that it should be corrected. And anytime these corrections needed to be made, they were able to reproduce the pink sheets. But you see, this is in our presence as parties. So that is a legal process. But this is what happens when we're not there. When they need to fabricate, then they fabricate their new one from the same.
And then 1 pink sheet got missing, parliamentary.
Good.
We couldn't find it. Central. We couldn't find it.
So,
yes.
Let's make this point quickly.
No, quickly. Let's watch the declaration.
We have to go to the EC office right now. The Dom Kwabenya constituency results are about to be declared after recollation. Let's hear.
Parliamentary results with the party that was not present at the collation center during the declaration that was made on the 8th of December. We realized that 3 polling centers were outstanding. Outstanding means that we didn't have the hard copies, so we rely on the soft copy from the presiding officers. So the commission wanted the parties to bring the hard copy so that we can cross-check. But at the end of the day, they are saying that they also don't have the hard copy. So the commission said we should hold on with the proceeding, and then commission will decide on it. So this is the end of the proceeding for today. Thank you.
What are these constituencies? Which constituency are we talking about?
So when are we expecting? When are we expecting the declaration? So when are we expecting the declaration?
The commission said they are going to look into the matter and get back to us.
Not essentially today.
We are talking about Dominic Kwampenya constituency.
Your name, sir. Please, your name. Sir, mention your name and designation.
I'm James Kofi, the returning officer. So those polling stations, we have Apostolic Church, Aigbe Town,
we also have, I can't see, we also have Soul Care, Assemblies of God, Freetown, 2. And then the third one, I can't see.
So without the hard copies of these polling stations,
the
recollation cannot be done?
That is what the commission is saying. I can't see the third one.
Written on paper. How many years is it?
It's not still showing.
Okay. So there are 3 polling centers.
3 polling centers.
When are we coming back?
Commission has not given us a date.
And so because of
we can.
Yes, please. That is what we are not doing declaration today. We are only cross-checking. We are cross-checking from the previous figures. I'm not citing for Ablekumanoff.
So because they are soft copies, that's the reason we are not continuing with.
That's what the commission is saying. They are soft copies. We got the figures all right, but the commission is saying that you want a hard copy from
the party agent.
And they don't have the hard copy. So
aside the 3 polling stations.
So Mr. Kofi is a returning officer for Dom Kwabenya, and like he rightly mentioned, the results for the constituency will not be declared because some of the party agents were not able to bring their original pink sheets and they have the soft copies. And so according to the commission, if the copies are not original copies, they cannot go ahead with the recollation to ensure that the results are declared finally. And so without the original copies, the soft copies cannot pass, and so that's why the constituency result is unable to be declared today. So that of the Ablekumanoff also pending. So 2 constituencies in all are having their results pending. So we can say for now that it's actually coming to a close, and so we have that final word or final remark from the Electoral Commission, and they will be giving the green light and the way forward regarding the declaration of result of these 2 constituencies, which is Dom Kwabenya and Ablekumanoff. So Mr. Kofi is a returning officer who just addressed the media shortly, and so these are scenes from the Regional Coalition Center where outstanding results of some constituencies were declared. 7 have been done so far. All have gone in the favor of the MPP, and 2 are pending, Ablekumanoff and Dom Kwabenya. We've been extensively covering this and giving you all the updates on Facebook. We are live on TV3 Ghana, and even on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, just name them. We're also updating you accordingly, and that's your Election Command Center. Extensive coverage, post-election coverage. That is what it is. And my name is George Quinnin, and I'm still here. But I wish I could get a few words from the MPP parliamentary candidate, Michael Quay Jr., what he makes of this very decision not to declare the result.
So while we await George Quinnin's attempt to get Michael Quay Jr. to speak, because he is at the venue, so far the information that we have is that the Dom Kwabenya constituency, yes, the Electoral Commission officers there did their recollation, but there were 3 constituencies, that's just 3 polling station results. 3 polling station results that the NPP officers there could not produce the hard copy. They had soft copies. And so the commission says they cannot admit soft copies of the polling station results. And so they've had to put that on hold. So for today, we cannot get any declaration for the Dom Kwabenya constituency. And that is also in tandem with what happened in Ablekumanoff. For Ablekumanoff, the returning officer says the NDC is not there to validate the 25 pink sheets that the MPP presented. And as a result, he's not going to go ahead with the process. So the man you just saw there for the Dom Kwabenya constituency, the returning officer, James Kofi, that's the name. James Kofi is a returning officer for the Dom Kwabena constituency. He has indicated that because the MPP could not produce 3 polling station results in hard copy, they have had to put the process on hold for a later date for announcement. So as we speak now, the earlier declaration is still in force. For Sena Akurugu, Elikuli Makurugu for the NDC announced MP-elect. And then we're seeing as well for Ablekuma North, Rabana Oben on ticket of the NDC still in force. At least that's those 2 declarations still in force as we speak. So that's the development with Dom Kwabena. Is it any different from what you had?
Exactly. In our case, the MPP didn't have pink sheets.
The MPP didn't have.
They didn't have their pink sheets. So and then in this case, if the EC could actually take a decision to halt the process and look and wait for certain things to be done, why didn't it happen in that case? That's exactly what we're asking them. When we said to them that the numbers that we have on our pink sheet is totally different from the numbers that you have, why couldn't we do this? Look, this confirms a hunch that I've always had. It confirms the fact that looks like the MPP, they were carefully intent of making sure that they get another Empatry Obama back to Parliament. That was it. Everybody else was just affected. This is just clear because you could see how they forced through with it, because in Nomi Kwabena, for instance, and everything, which is essentially almost the case that we're making, which is said that is an issue of pink sheet here. In this instance, they do not have the pink sheet. They are presenting digital copies. In the MPP's case, they didn't have pink sheets for most of it. They didn't. It was only 1 polling station, the first one. Subsequent polling station, when you ask them, they cannot actually even present it.
But then
why
the
didn't the EC?
ahead.
Yes, yeah, because that's why we're fighting, and that's why we moved out.
But
the process went ahead in the absence, and you see, instructively, it happened without the original returning officer that actually returned the elections. It happened with somebody else who they claim they have given also called an appointment letter only this morning. All of this charade is untidy.
So,
this is untidy.
This position the EC takes when, for instance, pink sheets are not available to authenticate what they have. It has to be a standard operating procedure, not one subjective. That is at the whims and caprices of either. Is it not?
So that is why when you have an EC officer in an EC jacket supporting NPP, then you are in trouble.
What do you mean by this?
I am telling you, EC recruited officers who are actually acting to favor your opponent. I am saying this pink sheet is fabricated, so reject it. They agree that it is fabricated. The EC officer says, I will admit it. Because the figures favor my opponent. When it is admitted, I lose. These are the things we've seen. You have listened to Baba Sadiq. You have listened to her. You understand? It's like saying that these are rejected ballots, but I will count them anyway. Because the rule enforced to reject a ballot casted is the same rule applicable mutatis mutandis when the pink sheet is fabricated.
So when you do this Latin language, you
but this is my work.
Well, what
you understand?
Translate to English.
By parity of reasoning.
All right, that's just
but if you have the power to reject a ballot, my old lady goes to cast a ballot. You say no. Because she didn't put a thumbprint in a certain box properly near the face of the candidate, it is rejected. And yet, the same EC officer also, it is rejected. Let's count it as rejected ballot. Yet the same EC officer will fabricate a pink sheet. When I am able to dictate that, I say, no, even though you are saying within the law it is not right, but I will admit it.
Yeah.
That is why the law says after declarations, you have no power to interfere. Let a court of law. That is why you go and lead evidence. You mount the witness stand, you swear an oath. Then I will cross-examine you. Like the presiding officer at the police station who came to Tema Central Collation Center on Monday to say that, oh yes, when I closed, I was tired. We were all tired and we were in a hurry. So I came to complete the pink sheet in the office. In the absence of our agents.
Yeah.
Should such a pink sheet be admitted?
That's contrary to what the law says, right?
Thank you.
Because if I look at the
certain
details
metro director of elections.
This is what spells Regulation 43. Subject to Regulation 42, immediately after the results of the poll for all the polling stations in the constituency of the returning officer have been given to the returning officer shall in the presence of the candidates.
Thank you.
Or the representatives of the candidate.
Thank you.
Or not more than 2 counting agents appointed by each candidate.
Thank you.
Assemble the results from the polling stations without recounting.
Thank you.
The ballot in the ballot boxes, except where there is a challenge by a candidate or a counting agent in respect of a specific ballot box. Fill the parliamentary election results summary sheet as set out in Form 1D. Give public notice of the total number of votes cast for each candidate.
Thank you.
And publicly declare as elected in parliamentary election the candidate who had the highest votes, which we saw in both your situations. Request the candidates or the representatives or counting agents of the candidates to, together with the returning officer, sign the parliamentary election results collation form as set out in Form 1C of the schedule and the parliamentary election results summary sheet as set out in Form 1D of the schedule and post a copy on the constituency collation center.
Thank you.
We say that in most of the cases they've been torn up. Give each candidate or the representative or the counting agent of a candidate a completed and signed copy of the parliamentary election results collation form as set out in Form 1C of the schedule and the parliamentary election results summary sheet as goes on in Form 1D. And then you go through the process.
This is collation. I speak of polling station, which is 39. Polling station wise is contained in 31 sub 3 thereabout, where you are even mandated to post a copy of the results. And when you do that, it is supposed to be a foolproof against an ex post facto event fabrication. That is after the event, somebody can go and fabricate it. No, don't do it. Even though it's a requirement, such a material requirement in law, they haven't done it. The man is claiming that he was tired. So even the completion of the original pink sheet. So it means whatever he torn, whatever he gave to my agent was even not proper.
I see.
So now he goes to the office and go and fabricate his own figures. Then he's caught red-handed, in flagrante delicto.
So we await now.
I see 39 over here.
As we round up, we await now the declarations in Ablekuma, read declarations for Ablekuma North and Dom Kwabenya in the coming days. But Kemini, while we draw the curtains down on this extensive coverage, you hear Ebi Bright and Baba Sadiq talk about the victory that they chalked in what was described as strongholds of their other opponents. Right. And that's also instructive if you're looking at the analysis and looking at the bigger picture as well, because then unless there are outliers, if you begin to win in your opponent's strongholds, it only points to one direction, unless there are outliers. But the moment you see that, for instance, in Dom Kwabenya, the NDC people, they started jubilating quite early because in Taifa North, Taifa South, Abokobi, those areas, you hardly have NDC winning. So the moment those polling station results started coming in, it pointed to a particular direction. Then we saw the jubilation there. And then you can talk about the CPC area that Baba Sadiq talks about. Expands into Fadama, the night market area, goes into
the original word is behind the market.
But Tema, you obviously don't know Tema. I'll tell you, Republic.
So you will have those kinds of people. The trend clearly will give you an idea of how things are going, unless they are outliers.
The same thing happened in Tema Central. You know, Vaco electoral area, Black Cat, Low Cost, Republic. I mean, we won this hands down. Union was Ottawa. We won that hands down. I'm saying hands down. Now in Jatagon, we were ahead of them. In horticulture, we're also ahead of them. In Union, we're ahead of them. In Uhuru, we're ahead of them. In A-Road, we were at par with them. In Sahara, we're ahead of them. So, I mean, basically,
how do you
with
this kind of result from
for us as well, in the Tesano enclave, if you see the margins, I mean, the MPP candidate usually wins with. When you look at it, for instance, and you see how he closed the margin, for instance, it will indicate to you in the Tesano areas. That is the only electoral area he won.
And just 51%.
So even where he lost,
minimally.
Yes. But in all the 4 other electoral areas, Blemago, which is Abeka, Bemomo, which is Fadama,
I didn't even lose any.
Olengele, which is the La Paz and its environs, Wanyaman electoral area. We won all these 4 electoral areas, but for Apenkwa. How does you win an election with just one, that particular one? I mean, it's not even possible.
I am curious because, especially in your case, Baba Sadiq, when we are now seeing that in the case of Dom Kwabenya, scanned copies were not being allowed for collation. Was there room to raise those issues higher than the returning officer? In
fact, we raised it. Well, the moment we got there, they had brought in a scanned copy they wanted to. And then the EC explained that it was 2 other polling stations that their EC didn't have the numbers. And so they were relying on their scanned copies. And then we questioned, I was like, how do you even rely on their scanned copies? If you, the same person, had told us that the decision you've been given is to use your original pink sheet, how do you rely on their scanned copies?
They are being the NPP
which is the EC. You know, how do you rely on their scanned copy that they've brought to you? And then they suggested that there were 2 other polling stations within the 31 polling stations that they didn't have original pink sheets to. So they asked them to actually bring the pink sheet. They said, look, we have all our pink sheet, 31 pink sheet. But the point is that on all the 31 pink sheets, and we raised it from the first declaration that we were supposed to do. In fact, what actually truncated it was when we began to raise these issues at the Constitutional Coalition Center, forcing his guys to come in, and then there was a pushback, and then that disrupted it. So we came for the declaration again. So in the same instance, they didn't, if you ask them today to come and show you their pink sheet for us to examine, look, I've always said it. Let them bring all their pink sheet. Let us bring our pink sheet on camera everywhere. Let's look at it. You will notice what has gone on. Clearly a criminal enterprise that has happened. And for me, like I told him there, I said, look, is this how you've been winning your elections all the years? You know, and this is very bad. This is very bad. And for the citizens of Kaikwe Center, for instance, for the change they've wanted to see in this particular elections, and for this thing to happen, this is very bad.
In fact, Patrick told our cameras that even in the original election, if it had continued properly, he won. So this is...
How would he have won? How? Polling station by polling. He should mention, for instance, the polling stations that he said. Look, we all know, off-head, I know almost all the police stations in the constituency. I can tell you where we won, for instance. If you tabulate it, you will see it. If you go to Bebo, I can mention from the ACC, go to, what do you call it, out for way to Lolat coming down. If you go to Blimago, we can mention from Zilos all the way to Harrow, the original ward branches, go to Alive, go to up to MDP. We can mention, I can show you the police stations that we won. In Apenkwa, for instance, we can mention all the police stations from Apenkwa School right up to, what do you call it, Methodist. What is actually even strange is that we actually even won in Methodist. Because we usually do not win in Methodist, so which is the last polling station in the Apenkwa electoral area. So all of this and more, I mean, this is not that. Beside that, this is a party that have told us that the evidence is on the face of the pink sheet. The pink sheet that you gave to us, I don't own pink sheet. I don't create pink sheet. You are giving pink sheets to us. These are copies of work that you've done. This pink sheet, when collated, puts us ahead of, but all of it for 141, not the 110. In fact, the original, our initial projection on the 52.92% that we had gotten was for all the 141 polling stations. It was set aside, the 31 polling station was set aside when we had raised it, and they didn't have any explanation. They didn't know what to do in that particular instance. And the NPP didn't have their pink sheet then.
So it's not even the case that...
Yes, so it's not, so if we follow the pink sheet that they have given to us, all the 141 that we've collated, there's no way you declare the NPP candidate as having won the Kaikwe Central elections. You know, but for the fact that they said that, well, we have our own instructions to use our own electoral commission, we cannot even examine. You are not even giving us the opportunity to even examine whatever pink sheet that you say you have. How is this possible? The pink sheets are given to us for a reason. In this particular instance, you've dismissed the value of the pink sheets that you've given to us. In future elections, how do you convince anybody that the pink sheets that you give to us are valuable in the event there's any dispute? How?
So you see, because we made reference to the margin of victory for the MPP in Kaikwe Central, let's look at Tema Central. From 2016, when Ebi Bright first contested on the ticket of the NDC, look at the margin. 68.35%. That's 28,395 for the NPP who candidate won, 12,937 for Ebi Bright, a difference of almost 16,000.
Yeah, 17,000.
Almost 17,000.
Yeah.
16,000 and over, let's say. Fast forward to 2020. 31,121, the NPP retained, and the nominal figures for Ebi Bright, 16,728. A difference of
15,000 difference.
15,000
more
about
difference.
15,000 difference.
14 plus.
Yeah. Let's look at 2024. If the results declared today is anything to go by, 18,000.
55 votes.
Yes. Why are you going ahead of me?
No, let me.
18,870 for the MPP.
God.
Charles Forson.
Stolen.
And Ebi Bright, 18,815. That's a difference of 55 votes. That's from this 15,000 and what? Almost 16,000 and over.
16,000 there.
To this
55.
No, I'm leading by 241. As much as they've stolen, that's as much as they can steal.
From 5,000.
From over 5,000.
In the end, as the case has been made quite clearly, but what next, really? That's a takeaway from us. What next for
we are in court. What's beautiful about all these matters is that even though the NDC, you see, this is why some of us weep sometimes. We weep openly because the Peace Council has been so quiet. The Christian Council has been so quiet.
What can they do in this instance?
2 weeks ago, or let me say sometime last week.
They actually went to meet the Peace Council.
When our people decided that our mandate will not be stolen by the connivance of NPP or with the connivance of NPP and some EC officials, and our people decided to mass up. They said, "Oh, we should inform the president-elect to call his men to order. The NDC should call its members to order." NPP was crying, ma. Today they've stolen our mandate using subterfuge, and the Peace Council is quiet. The Christian Council is quiet. Registered CSOs are quiet. We are in court. They have decided to use the police and other means to do it until the court order came yesterday. They had adopted a grandstanding approach to get these things done in their favor.
But they're still doing it.
And they are still doing it at the collation center. And we pray. The NDC is in court.
Okay.
We will abide the outcome of the court process.
All right.
But we will not allow our mandates to be stolen. Look, what I can foresee happening eventually is for the Electoral Commission to order a rerun. In all these matters. That is the only solution to this matter. If they don't order for a rerun, oh my God.
Okay.
We'll see how the coming days will look like. We're saying to them that...
Let's hear from Baba Sadiq and Ebi
For us,
Bright
in our case, it's simple. Well, if you look at the pin sheet, we have maintained that the pin sheet that we use and the pin sheet that was given to us, or the pin sheet that we're using consistently, was given to us by the EC. We're saying they should just go by the pin sheet that they gave to us. They cannot continue to be cooking up figures and engaging in fraudulent behavior. This is wrong. And for me, I think there has to be a full-scale investigation. And I told them, I said, look, the CID must come in at the point. Yes. Even though we do not trust the activities of the CID, there has to be a full-blown investigation to actually investigate how the numbers were different on their pink sheet.
There will be a criminal
this is wrong. People, the district, from the district director to presiding officers, there has to be a full-blown investigation to identify and to come to the conclusion regarding this thing, because this thing cannot happen. And like he said, look, as a party in WeekendCentral and as part of, members of the NDC, we're not going to allow this to go on. This is not right. This is untidy.
Okay.
And obviously for us at this particular point, we cannot actually even restrain our supporters on what to do even within the constituency. We would have wished that there would have been peace and order. We actually want that. But within the way they are behaving and going about it and going about things. This is clearly not right, and no party, no future party. Of course,
peace and
no, of course. We are, like I said, we have said that. Look, we are committed to the peace. We are committed to ensuring that everybody should stay calm in this particular instance. Right. But with the way that is going, where very cogent points, logical points, common sensical points are made, and nobody's taking it, and it looks like the police and everybody have come together.
They say ignore.
Baba, thank you.
This is a fabricated win. This is a fraudulent and fabricated win for the NPP.
I think at this point, simplistically, everybody is looking at declaring and undeclaring, or
this is the proper stolen verdict,
or all of this. I think that the issues are not as simplistic, because I'm looking forward to people paying the price for their complicity in this situation. People need to be prosecuted. Unfortunately, the law does give us room for such remedy. I think that it wouldn't just be enough that our mandate is restored, which we're going to work, fervently to achieve, and there are many avenues open to us. So this is not the end of the matter. But beyond this, I think that it's important that we advise those that are complicit in this situation that the law allows us to move beyond overturning the illegalities, to go after you. And this is an area where we're looking at accountability. I mean, we've shown the way with oral. So if even bigger fishes than you are going to be facing the full rigors of the law, be sure that at every level, corruption must be ousted out. That is the kind of leadership that we're getting. So His Excellency John Mahama and the Ogas at the top are not the only ones that are responsible for cleansing this country of characters like you and occurrences like these, which not only wound persons like myself, but everybody else that we represent. So we want to assure you that part of our responsibility is to come after you, so that subsequently this nation can trust in simple, well laid out processes like what we have in our
their mandate will not be stolen.
In our electoral process, and for all the faith that we once had in it, it is our duty, since we're players in this space today, to restore it. And so, yes, on behalf of myself and Baba, we'll assure you that following in the direction of His Excellency John Mahama and the NDC party, we would also keep you as our constituents and Ghanaians safe. We will not allow any situation contrived to put you in danger because of the nefarious activities of these persons to persist. Thank you very much.
Very well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining our coverage of this recollation exercise. Remember that there were 9 constituencies, 7 have been redeclared in favor of the NPP, 2 outstanding. The returning officers have decided that they will not go through with the exercise for one reason or the other. Here on your election command center, we'll continue to keep an eye on events happening as far as these exercises are concerned. But we'll bring an end to our coverage at this point, continue with regular programming. I'm Kemini Amano.
My name is Alfredo Conce. Stay with TV3.
All right.